Welcome back to the channel. It's Dream Life Actualized. I have a very special guest in the building. Brother, do you want to introduce yourself?
Hello, guys. My name is Global CZ, young black traveler, influencer, social media, personality, you could say. Um, Today, I'm joined by my brother doing an interview, just talk travel, just talk life, just talk business.
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah. So one thing they don't know, I can't tell you how long I've been watching you, but it's been a minute. And the thing is, I don't know if anybody's ever given you your props yet, but as far as like on the young guy side, like I'm 28 and I'm sure you're not that far off, right?
Yeah, I just turned 23.
Right. So yeah, you just had a birthday not too long ago, right? Happy birthday or belated.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, man. So like especially on the young guy side of traveling, I don't think there's anybody like in that realm who's been to as many countries as Global CZ was. That's been documented. You know what I mean? Who has like a YouTube channel and is actively documenting his journey. So I definitely want to give you your props too, because I remember when I was 21, 22, where I was not doing that. It's by myself. And so I definitely want to start this off first. Just give you your flowers, bro. It's like the things, the amount of content that you put out there, not only on YouTube but on TikTok as well. It's just been incredible, man. So I definitely want to start this off by giving you your props.
I definitely appreciate that, brother. It's definitely a blessing. I don't take it for granted. Most people don't get to do this, so
Mhm.
I appreciate that, brother.
Very true, man. So I guess my first question, just jumping into this thing, is like, what was the thing that made you go like, you know what, I want to travel?
Yeah, so I always loved traveling. I always wanted to travel, you know, but I was doing music. Like the way I even started YouTube was to start promoting my music, I started music maybe in high school. So it was me and my friends, but I knew like most people around that do music, most people locally, they never bring their stuff anywhere. It just stays in a basement, just stays in the neighborhood. So I knew like I had a gift that could connect with people outside of, my demographic. So when I started posting YouTube and music, I see the numbers and I see the views, and I have like people sending me like videos of them playing my music in different countries in Spain in these random places that I've never been. So I'm like, yo, if there's one person out there that likes me, that connects with me, then I'm gonna somehow get over to these places and meet these people, and just it became a thing where it was like more than the music, more than just the YouTube. So it became like just connecting culturally
Mhm.
over.
And that's huge, right? I don't want to listen. I don't want to turn this into like just me glazing the whole fucking time. But again, it's like you don't even think about that because it's like when we have YouTube channels, so we can go to our analytics and we see people from like all over the world tune in, Poland, South Africa, Philippines, it's all over. And so to think that it's like I'm gonna make music and then I could take this worldwide, it's like that's huge because especially with music, it's one of those things that people don't realize, like you don't have to be popular in your hometown. If you go somewhere else, you can be extremely popular just because, you're the only guy doing it over there. And so I think that's huge. Like that's important. And speaking on the music tip, I will say this, right? That's how long I've been tuned in, right? He has a song, and correct me if I got the title wrong, but I want to say it's called 3 a.m. in Thailand. Is that right?
Yeah, 7 a.m. in Thailand.
Oh, 7 a.m. Okay, that's one of my favorites, bro. I love that song. So if y'all haven't heard that, it's on. I listen to it with Apple Music. I believe it's still on there. Go check out 7 a.m. in Thailand. That's one of my favorites, right?
Yeah, thank
But
you.
yeah, of course. But yeah, just to touch on that point, it's like I didn't even really think about that. Where you go to these different countries, you're making TikToks, you're making YouTube, and then I'm sure it's like if I wanted to find your music, I can find it through those avenues, like through TikTok or through YouTube, right?
Yeah,
And so just like not only you're doing that, but you're also building that audience on like multiple different things. So that's dope. So is there just from just traveling and then like meeting these people, is it just one of those things where you were like, oh, like I got something here, let me keep traveling? Or were you always had the plan of like, I'm just gonna keep traveling no matter what?
So honestly, it started off like just like I don't even know how I still wonder how this happened. You know, it happened fast. But it was like more of I started off traveling. I started like exceeding my limits and expectations to where it became like I'm known for traveling. I'm known for being overseas.
Mhm.
Um, when before it was kind of like every day, just how am I going to keep this thing going? How am I going to keep affording this? And then like God just put the steps in place for me to like make connections through traveling, make connections through live streaming, make connections through just doing music and stuff like that. So it became less of a far fetched idea, and now it's kind of like the sky's the limit when it comes to traveling. When it comes to just expanding my network and my range,
Mhm.
content. You know,
100%, man. And that's one of the things that I talk about on my channel that I want to continue to talk about is that this is the beginning. Like our generation is the beginning towards what is going to end up being or happening in the future that's going to be normalized. And that's people becoming global citizens, where it's like where we realize like, oh, wait, like back in the day, it's like, oh, people like leave their town, their hometown, and that's like a huge deal. He went from the town to the city, right? Or maybe he switched states. Like that's a huge deal. But now it's to the point where it's like, bro, it's like people are switching countries now. You know what I'm saying? It's like people are switching whole countries. And again, right now, still the mainstream has yet to catch up to be like, you know what, this is a really good idea. Let me go ahead and come over here, stretch my dollar, things of that nature. And so we are the pioneers of that because we have the internet. And the internet is able, you're able to talk to somebody in China in a fraction of a second, because I have a language learning app that I'm on and I'm able to talk to people from all over the world instantly. And so it's like the amount of connections that you can have just doing that is just it's just astounding, man. So that's really dope.
like
So you said
we
what?
think it's not that big of a deal, but like overseas, like we're a big deal to them. Like not even just us as Americans, but like just them connecting with foreigners, them connecting, wanting to learn English. There's so many
Hmm.
to it. It's like we take these things for granted, which are like these are big things overseas, you know?
Hmm. And that's one of the things like I've so I'll give you a little bit of my background. I was an army brat. Both of my parents were in the army. So traveling is like normal for me. But and then it wasn't until I got into an adult where I'm able to like actually realize like the value of traveling. When you go to different places, and I want to say this correctly, it's not it feels like in some places, not all of them, but some places, it's like where they're at their country is like where America is like 40 years ago or 50 years ago. And not just in terms of infrastructure, but in terms of like thought process and how they think and how they see the world. And there's such a huge value in that because we realize it's like, oh, like the people are different, how they act is different, the things that they care about is different. And so when we go over there, it's like I like to ask, it's like if you were to go back in time 40, 50 years ago, it's like how would you live your life? And a lot of that I feel like is really you're able to do that when you go to these different countries. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, definitely. I definitely like add a lot of things to my like just arsenal about life, about knowledge, about family, values, money. Every country I go to, no matter how rich, how poor, you know? And it's
Hmm.
like in America, we take a lot of stuff for granted and we just overlook a lot of stuff and we try to like stick to one thing. But I think life is pretty, it's limitless, you know?
Right. Facts. Heavy on that limitless thing. Cause like you don't realize how much programming you have within your country until you leave it. Like I was talking to this woman, she was from Jordan, right? And she just got to the country. This was here in the States. She was my Uber driver. And we were just talking, chopping it up. And I was asking her about like, oh, what's life like in Jordan, yada yada. And she's like, oh, me and my whole family, we all live in like a house. And in my mind, I'm like, oh, dang, they live in like a two-bedroom, or I'm sorry, a three-bedroom, two bath. And there's like 15 of them. I'm thinking they're all cramped inside. I'm like, dang, that's real. Like, that's life. And she's like, oh, no, we live on a compound. I'm I'm like, wait a minute. I'm like, wait, you got like your whole family lives on like this giant compound? She's like, yeah. She's like, we just put all of our money together. And it smacked me in the face. I'm like, why as Americans do we say your kid's 18, get him out of here? Like, what sense does that even make? But when I travel, I realize like, bro, your family sticks together because that's like all you have. And I'm like, oh, I'm like, that's when like it was a moment for me where I'm like, yeah, this is backwards. Something's going on. Did you have a moment where maybe you were traveling where you're like, wait a minute, whatever's going on in America, this is like completely backwards. Now we're not saying it's a bad thing, but it's like backwards. You have that type of moment in traveling?
Yeah, I actually have those moments a lot. Like even that situation you're talking about right now, like when I'm overseas and I'm just alone and I'm thinking like you got to be selfish, everything's about yourself in America and getting yourself forward. But when I go overseas, everything's family oriented, hospitality. It kind of makes me like, damn, I wish I had that with me right now. Wish I had
Hmm.
my out here. I wish I had people that I could, experience this life with. And I'm experiencing with other people's families, people bringing me to their homes, people feeding me and stuff. I'm spending Christmas. It's like
Hmm.
to be like that. But I'm just blessed to even see life from a different perspective. So when I have my family, I can make those changes.
Facts. It's like now that you understand, it's like if you're going to be the leader of your household, like you now have a whole new blueprint, a whole new game plan, damn near a whole new philosophy when it comes to like family dynamics instead of just following like the individual American way. Right. And that's kind of something that I wanted to touch on where it's like one of the things that I realized just from like a black and like other race perspective is that when I go overseas, there are a lot of people who travel together. And when I mean that, I don't mean like, we take group trips like it's a guy's trip. That's normal. Like a lot of people do that. But I would meet people and there would be either like Asians or there will be like white or a mix of Asians and white. I haven't really seen Hispanics do it now that I think about it. But still, and they're like travel together. I'm like, oh, where you guys living? They're like, oh, we're staying in a penthouse. I'm like, dang, a penthouse? Like, how you affording a penthouse? Like, because there's four of us. And I'm like, you guys travel together? He's like, yeah, we're all expats. We met up and now we just travel together. And I'm like, dang, like, because as black people, we're so like, and this is a good thing and a bad thing, but it's like we're so like individual, like individualistic. Like we're just like, well, we're a grown man. I don't feel like lodging out with no other. But it's like, but at the same time, it's like that's a strength and a weakness. It's like, are you finding that the same too, or what do you think about that?
Yeah, like literally right now, I'm trying to like get out of those ways of just doing everything alone. And obviously, it's good to do things alone and stuff, experience things alone and, you know, test yourself. But at the same time, it's better with a team. Everything is better with a team because in this world, my friend just told me, like, if you're doing everything solo, you're competing against people that are in teams. You're competing against teams, and it's like black community. It's like there's a lot of ego involved, so you can't
Hmm.
even you know can't even build with people. Egos get involved, conflict arises. Different interests. So trying to battle that right now and find like-minded people like me.
Hmm. That's facts, man. Because it's like you could take the greatest NBA player in the world, whoever you think it is, MJ, LeBron, Steph, whoever it is, you put them against any team, they're gonna get washed. It doesn't matter how good you are solo, but with a team, they're gonna destroy you. And so and I'm glad that I have you on this channel, or just having this whole interview, is because I wanted to just kind of like spark the idea or just show that it's possible. It's like two people can work together. And of course, now that we have this interview, I could tell, and I've been watching you for a while. You're good people, and so I want to be added to your network. So if you're ever in a bind or something, I want you to know that you have somebody who you could call on in an emergency situation, because that's kind of what this is about. This is what this is for. It's like you want to have that type of network around, even if you decide to go by yourself, or if you're like, hey, I'm heading to this country, is anybody going? And then people are like, hey, I'm going too, and then you guys link up together and yada yada. But it's just like a powerful idea to realize that they're not like nothing is done alone. Nothing is done alone. I don't believe in the term self-made at all, because in order for you to even do something, there was another human being at some point who contributed to you being able to do that in the first place. So yeah, that's that. So okay, so I gotta say, and I'm sure you get this question a lot. Out of like all of the countries, do you know like the number of countries you've been to? Like the number?
It's around 20. It's either above or below 20. But
Okay.
some countries you don't count, some countries you want to do over. So I'm gonna say around 20.
Okay, I feel that. Do you have like a top three, like favorite places that you've been?
Yeah, I do. I like Thailand, number one. Everybody knows I love Thailand.
Yeah, I was about to say.
I love London, surprisingly. London was my first love. I think it was my first solo country, as a man. And I would say maybe Japan. Japan was dope. They showed me a lot of love out there.
Mm, that's interesting. Okay, so I definitely want to talk about Japan next, but I want to know if this is true. I've heard that just being or just having an American accent in London is like a fucking superpower for some reason. Is there like truth to that?
Yeah, like that was one of my viral videos, when I talked about that.
Hmm.
Uh, it's kind of like you're a fish out of water everywhere you go. Everybody hears you speak, everybody looks at you and just knows automatically that you're not, you know, you have a different energy about you. You have a different style about you. And people think London's like an asshole place, but I think they're friendly, they're polite. So picking up conversations, having fun with other people, you know, it's very easy out there for me, you know.
Okay, because yeah, I'm gonna be honest, man. I thought London was an asshole place, and the only reason, you know what it is, bro, is because every time I've looked at their food, I'm like, hell nah. I'm like, you see, I say, if y'all are okay with this type of food, there's no way I could trust y'all as a people. If y'all think that this is cool, I can't do it. That's number one, and number two, every picture that I see of London is never any sunlight. I can't stand that. I'm a sun guy. Like I thrive off of the sun. And so it's like if I see no, I'm like, there's no way y'all are happy there. It's always gray and gloomy.
Now, you know what it is? I just love the fact that it's multicultural. Like, I like seeing
Mm,
NYC, London, LA, places where it's just like people from all walks of life. So that's where I like strive the most.
hmm. Why do you think that is?
Because I'm big on culture. Like, I grew up with culture, and I always wanted to be around culture growing up because I think culture was one of my strong suits as a person coming up. Like just having that sense of identity and being able to relate to other people that have that sense of identity.
That makes sense. And so, and then I will say that. So, like, okay, so you had the London experience. Okay, now I want to talk about like Japan. So every time I hear about Japan, it's either hate it or love it, right? The people who love it, and the people who hate are like, this is overrated. So what I see people like interact with Japanese people, it's always as if they're like they're on the surface, they're really nice, they're cordial, they'll help you if in case, but like underneath that, like the mask, it's like they don't fuck with you for real. So it's like, is that true? Like, what do you have to say about Japan?
Yeah,
Or at
I'm
least
one
the
of
Japanese?
the advocates for Japan being overrated. Like I made a lot of videos and viral about that, just like explaining how that is. A lot of people don't understand it. But like people who actually live there understand because I lived in Asia before I went to Japan. So it was kind of easy to read how they were uncomfortable around you, how the smiles were kind of fake. They don't really relate to you or want to connect with you in a way. So yeah, Japan, it was kind of dreadful in that sense of like social life on a day to day. But as far as like connecting with the scene, the trendiness, the youth, that's cool. You know, if you like to party, like fashion and stuff like that, you like cool aesthetic, that's cool. But like as far as me, when I go places, I see how it would be if I lived there.
Hmm.
Me, me knowing how I am, seeing how they move, you know, it was kind of dreadful after trying to like gauge that lifestyle of me being a person living there and just feeling alienated all the time. So, but
That's
besides, you know, Japan is pretty cool if you
mhm.
have
That's kind of how I think about it, right? Like I go with my gut on these types of places, right? Because I'm the same way. I don't want to like it's cool to be cordial and nice. I get that, but it's like I want to know like what's behind that. I want to know who you really are behind closed doors. And that's when I started studying Asian culture, I started understanding. I'm like, oh, okay. I'm like Japan, like a lot of China, is very like homogenous to where they all think the same and they all it's like we're first and then other people. And so it's like, yeah, you're a foreigner, we'll treat you nice. Okay, that's like a person, they come over to your house, you treat them well. But like deep down, it's like, like we don't. If ish hit the fan, that's how I like to say it. If ish hit the fan, they not like they gonna stick with their own basically. They're like, oh, I know you, but like, it's like Japanese first or Chinese first. And so that was always kind of the vibe that I've gotten from not only just Japan and China, but just like a lot of Asian cultures. Would you agree with that, or is it different in some places?
Korea, Japan, all these places are like this, you know, but obviously Thailand has a lot more leeway because foreigners are like second class citizens there. You know, that foreign tourism is huge there, expats are huge there. But beside even there, like it's the same thing. Like they don't really get you, want to understand you. They don't really care for you too much. They don't really, I don't know. It's like you're not even human. But that's not.
Hmm.
That's their culture though. Their culture is kind of like stay in line and we'll protect you. If you act out of that, we don't know what to do with you.
Mm. Wow. Okay.
Discipline. I'll say it's
All right.
discipline. We don't have
So
the discipline to grow up with, you know.
hmm I look at that like, and I used to say that in a more harsh way. I'm trying to think of how to say this without sounding crazy. It's it's one of those things like because my thing is there's like the Latin culture, then there's African culture, then there's Asian culture. That's like the as far as like the big three for me. And so I look at Asian cultures as more logical, analytical, rule following, rule based, discipline. Don't be oddball out and things like that. And then I look at like Latin culture, and I guess you could throw in American culture as well, where it's more as people are individual. Now, America, I would say we're like extreme on the individualism, but like these other places is like it's like a controlled individualism. Do you get what I'm saying? The rude thing that I'm not trying to say, it feels like they don't have like if one side is logical and analytical, the other side is more like soulful
Yeah,
and you get what I'm saying?
yeah, like natural, emotional
Hmm.
order, you know.
They allow themselves to be themselves. If that,
Yeah,
yeah, okay. And so it's like as Asian cultures, I would say I would feel like it's like if you like that type of stuff, that's awesome. But it's like I look at it like I don't think I could fully be myself here. And if I could be myself, I don't think I would be accepted to be
yeah,
myself. I would need to act like them. Would you say that's kind of accurate or?
yeah, I would agree.
Okay. Okay, cool. So I know you've like okay, so you've been to different Latin cult or countries, right?
Yeah. Um,
Okay,
I've been
so
to Brazil, Puerto Rico.
okay, you said Colombia, Brazil, Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
Okay, and then as far as the Asian cultures, you were Thailand.
I probably did almost all of them except for
Oh
like
wow, okay. Okay. I'm assuming that you like more Asian culture is better. Which one, just personal opinion to you, which one do you like better?
I wouldn't say I like the Asian. I like the Thailand culture, you know. I
Mm-hmm.
feel like as an environment and a place to like get away from the world, I love Asia for that reason. You know, it's more like you're playing on different rules, different time zone, different cultures, different expectations, different way of life. So that's why I love Asia the most. You know, I love Latin America as well for that expressive, like you said, like the dance culture, the family, just people are nice and open. I love Latin America for that too. But Asia is more my style. Like I'm more of a secluded guy, I'm more of a relaxed guy. You know?
I feel that. Okay. See, I get that because for me, I've always been battling like Asian countries, Latin countries, Asian countries, Latin countries. So far, I've only been to Latin countries, right? And it's like I think I'm more like I think I have FOMO when it comes to Asian countries. Besides Thailand, I know I'm missing out a lot when it comes to Thailand. But I'm looking at a place now where it's like, where can I go to like put my head down, low cost of living, build, and just kind of like have like a good life. And so far, I like Latin countries a lot more simply because I'm a very like expressive guy. If you guys ever meet me like in real life, I'm probably quiet. I'm probably like observing and listening and just like, tactful, but like in like who I am, if the environment was right and the people are right, I'm very expressive, And the one thing that I've learned, because right now I'm learning Spanish, is the thing in English, like, well, from a scale of 1 to 10, we keep our expressiveness about like a 4 with like everyday people. But in Spanish, you have so much more room to express yourself. You can say some wild stuff, and they don't take it as like, oh, this guy's being weird, or this guy's being creepy, or something like that, right? I'm getting called love everywhere. I'm getting called heaven, cariño. I'm like, bro, like that hits, and like to them it's whatever, right? But to me, I'm like, oh my god, like I love this stuff, right? So it's like, do you think that do Asians, as far as like, do you think they have that type of expressive culture, or is that more like very secluded, like you have to know them for a while type of thing?
Yeah, Asians, they're pretty like surface level friendly, but like I know what you're talking about. Like when I was in I love Colombia. That's probably my number three, if not Japan. It's just the dangerous part, you know, like I can't do
Yeah.
the, but like I love how like the frequent, like it's a romantic culture. I know what you're talking about. Like it's
Mm-hmm.
a guy's culture. The frequency is love. Like you can spread love to anyone. Women won't think it's weird. People won't think it's like, invasive. So
Mm-hmm.
I do agree with that,
For sure. That's the type of thing. I'm really like a lover type. And so if I could do that all the time, I'm in a space. Plus it has a bunch of sunlight, fuels me. I'm on it, Okay, so you travel to Latin America, you travel to Asia, you of course America, London. As far as home bases, right? So we know like we got the countries that we like. And if you don't want to talk about it, that's fine because I definitely keep my home bases to myself. It's like, what do you have any like home bases in mind where you're like I could spend like a long time here?
Yeah, Thailand for sure. I've spent the most time there out of any country. It's affordable.
Hmm.
First, it reminds me of the Caribbean where I stay at. I stay like on the island Phuket. So it reminds me of the Caribbean just in many aspects. So it doesn't really feel like I'm in Asia sometimes, but everybody's Asian, but like I feel at home. So it's
Hmm.
it's just like the money and all that. It's more of like where my soul feels at home. And there's a lot of young people as the nightlife, so I do love that aspect as well. But for now, I think that's my number one home base. I'm trying to find more, but I know like there's other countries I haven't been to yet that I'd probably love. When my finances get a little more to par, I
Hmm.
could probably try some new things.
I hear that. And so you out of the all the how many like places have you been in Thailand?
I've been almost the most major. I've been to every major city out there, and food in between cities. I like to try, I like to explore, before
Hmm.
I like before I even made that my home base, I was already exploring, backpacking around.
Okay, and out of all of them, you like Phuket the most, I'm assuming.
I love Phuket the most.
Okay, okay. So can you? So I'm assuming like yeah, there's Phuket, Bangkok, and then Pattaya, and then little like second tier cities after that, right? Those are like the main ones, right?
Those are the main ones for foreigners.
Okay, so which one? Do you have you stayed enough time in each to understand like the vibe of the place?
Yeah. So I I know most people love Pattaya,
Hmm.
but that city is more like that's like extreme party, extreme, girls, 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 and pleasure. So I don't really like to indulge in that because I can't really focus around that environment too much. And there's not much nature like how I would like. And then Bangkok is more like it could pass for an American city as far as like just
Mm.
the pollution everywhere. There's people everywhere. So I really don't even like that place. I don't even like staying there for 2 days. It is the hub sometimes. So, but yeah, Phuket is like the island mixed with the jungle, mixed with nightlife, mixed with just the wild, wild, you know, party vibes. So that's my, choice.
Okay. So I'm looking at Pattaya like it's just party. How you kind of describe it, it makes me think of like when people were like in high school or college and they go to a place and it's like spring break and everybody it's just like nonstop drinking, nonstop partying. You wake up, go party, girls, and then is it kind of like that type of vibe?
I mean, you can find that in all three, but like I just know like what everybody else around me is doing is that, you know,
Hmm.
Phuket, you can find people doing other things. You can find families. You can find people that love food, people that love
Yeah,
nature. Pattaya is like everywhere you look, everybody's partying, everybody's with girls. So it's like, damn,
I feel that. Okay. I can see.
in all of these places, all of them are paradise, but it's just
Mhm.
about what fits you. That's the best thing about Thailand. It's about what fits you.
I feel that because, and I think now that you kind of mentioned, I think I'm the same way because it's like there's a time and a place for things. There's nothing wrong with partying. Obviously, there's nothing wrong with girls. I love them both. But it's like after a couple of days, at least for me, after a couple of days, maybe a week, I'm like, okay, like let me go do something. Like I want to focus on something else. Like I want to actually go do something exciting that doesn't have anything to do with partying or girls. And it sounds like Pattaya is not the place for that. It's like not as far as having like a well-rounded life.
Exactly.
Got you. Okay, so you tell me about like the people, right? Because I've heard there's nothing but like old dudes in Pattaya. Bangkok is just like a giant city from like an international city. A whole bunch of people come in, so you get a mix. And then I hear Phuket is just for like England, the Russians, the Aussies, like the whole just basically like the white population. What do you is there some would you agree with that or how would you describe it?
You got it perfect, except you missed one thing, the Arabs. The Arabs be in Phuket a lot. So
Oh, I didn't even think about them.
the
Right.
Arabs the most, they're out there the most. The Arabs, the French, the UK, Australians, and Russians.
Mm,
So it's kind of
okay.
like diverse.
So I have to know, right? Like when I hear Australians, I got something in my mind, right?
Yeah,
When I think Russians, I got something like I could tell the personality types and how they look and act and stuff like that. UK the same way. Arabs though, I have no clue. Like all I've ever seen them is like they're working, like getting money. That's all I see Arabs, at least in my city where I'm from. So what are the Arabs like out there as like as a people? Are they calm? Are they crazy? Like what's going on?
think about it like this. In their country, there's a lot they can't do that they can do in Thailand.
Oh, So I'm guessing like it sounds like the repressed girl who moved or switched states and went to college and is just like letting everything fly.
Yeah,
Oh wow, they must get crazy. They must get down. All
yeah.
right. Okay, cool. So Phuket, so I guess I should ask like more like travel questions as like the visa situation. Is it just kind of like don't ask, don't tell type of thing, or is there like a process that you do if you're deciding to stay long term? How do you handle that?
There's many ways to do the visa thing. Like for me, I travel a lot, so it's not just I'm trying to just find a home base and then sit there,
Right.
because if I sit one place too long, I feel like damn, there's so much content I could be doing. There's so many places I could be going, while I'm already out here. So I still haven't even gotten my like long-term visa out there, but I have my ways, to like just do my thing.
I feel it. You ain't got to go too deep into that. I feel it. Okay. As long as it's working out for you, I like it. So yeah. So what was I gonna ask? There's as far as like living at so are you currently back at home now or are you in
I
Thailand still?
planned 2 weeks ago. I'm doing a little, you know, showing up for
Right.
my people in America right now.
I feel that. Okay, so I gotta know, right? When
Yeah.
you because for me, when I travel, I love it out there so much. Just because of the people, the weather, the women, everything, right? That when I come back, when I it happens to me like I can feel when I'm like over American soil, right? And I touch down and I feel like this level of it. I don't have anxiety, right? But when I touch down, I feel this level of anxiety. I look outside and like all of the people are like obesely overweight. And I get mad actually. I was gonna say I get sad and a part of me is sad, but I be getting mad, bro. And I'm like, yo, like, what is that? Does that happen to you, or do you have something similar to that when you touch down?
Yes, bro. It doesn't happen right away, but like after a few days of like just repetitive, it's repetitive here. Everybody around you is like living a repetitive lifestyle, especially where I'm from. Like my city's a school work city, so it's kind of like, damn, bro, my energy just stifled around people who don't really step outside the box, don't really see anything past, their daily routine. And we're just living a superstar or superhero lifestyle of new things every day, go wherever you want. It's like it kind of it's a pain, bro. I ain't gonna lie, it's a
Mhm.
pain. I take these times to like grow. You know, I usually come here after my birthday, so I can really reflect on a lot of things, just grow, personality wise as a man. You know, so you need these times.
Yeah, I definitely feel that as far as because it's one of those things where it's like in the middle of the lifestyle. Now, again, when I'm in the lifestyle, I'm like, I appreciate the hell out of it because I've been in America so long. It's like I appreciate it. But when you're actually back, you just have this deeper sense of appreciation for life that is out there. And you kind of touched on something. This is kind of like metaphysical, woo woo, right? If you believe in this stuff, but it's like whenever you're around like Americans, and I didn't realize this until like I left, right? Where it's like when I touched down in Colombia, the moment I like got off the plane, I felt completely different. And it's the same thing happens to me like well hold the anxiety and the anger and the sadness when I touch back in America. And it's like it makes me think that as people, we exude this type of energy, right? Each person has their individual energy. And when you take a bunch of us in one spot, concentrate us in one spot, we have like this group energy, whatever that energy is. And I feel like as Americans, it's like anxiety, it's fear, it's a whole bunch of all this other stuff, right? And we're not saying there's no happy Americans or things like that, but I'm saying as a group. But when I went to Colombia, I felt so like different. Like I have this, I call it a shedding period, right? Where it happens for me, it's like every 3 days. So whenever I get to let's say for this instance, it's Colombia. For the first 3 days, I'm like, I'm angry. I don't know what it is. It's like I'm angry. I'm easily irritated. And I still don't know what it is. But after like the third day, roughly about the third day, something snaps. And then I'm like euphoric. I'm like, I fucking love it here. And to me, I think I'm like shedding off that American energy off of me, and then I tap into the people that they're exuding, and then I'm just like I love it. I just love it here. Do you kind of do you know what I'm talking about, or am I kind of like way off here?
I get that euphoria right away. Like it's I'm on a high for like the first day or two, you know. Then I
Hmm.
kind of get in and relax. But when I first get somewhere, it's like I feel like doing a million things, you know.
Mm.
I definitely feel that, bro. Like every place you go has like a different energy, just you get a different vibe from the people, you know, and it's evident when you come back here too. So yeah, you gotta adjust when you come back to America for sure.
Yeah. So, and this is also something I want to ask you because this happens to me and it happened to a bunch of other people that I've talked to where whenever I like intellectually we know that it's like, okay, this is a completely different culture, they have a different way of life, yada yada. But are there certain moments to where you have to unlearn what's been so ingrained in you in America? And if I give you an example here, one of the things is like and one of the things is like it comes to let's just say the women, right? There's certain types of women, depends on who you like to attract and things of that nature. But there's a such thing as being a little too nice,
Yeah.
right, in America. And it's like, okay, it's like if you're a little too nice, you're just gonna get played with. They're just gonna run game on you, things of that nature. But when you go over to these different places, the if you're not nice enough, they're not gonna think that you like them. And you're like, wait a minute, like I thought, but then you realize like I had to unlearn is like, bro, that's American women. This is how American women are over here, much more intentional. You have to show nice to at least show them like, hey, like this is I like you. Do you have anything, and it doesn't have to be towards women, but like, do you have anything like that you had to like re unlearn because like, oh, this is an American thing. I have to go over here. Do you have something like that?
Yeah, like I mentioned earlier, like I'm working on it right now, just realizing how selfish we are, bro. Like an ego drip, like in these countries that we like, Colombia, Thailand, you don't have to act like that. You know, people aren't gonna look at you like you're weak. If you're being genuine, you know, you don't have to like just put yourself in a corner and not talk to anybody, not give somebody a little money, not buy somebody some food. You know, like, and when I went to Colombia, it was kind of freeing. Like it was this feeling I've never felt. Like I just wanted to spend money on Pete, like a female, if she want to come out to eat. I wanted to buy her an Uber home because they don't ask for it. They don't.
Hmm.
It's not like they're testing you or nothing like that. And it just felt genuine. Like I have resources. I'm enjoying my time here. I want to, spread that. But in America, it's like sometimes you feel like a dummy if you do certain things. Sometimes, people might take your kindness for weakness. So you got to always have this hard shell of putting yourself first, ego. So I'm kind of like trying to break out of that right now.
Hmm. And I think that's extremely important, right? Because we don't realize what that hard shell does to our psyche until we leave around people who don't have that hard shell and then kind of look at you like, what do you like, why are you doing that? But here's the thing, this is I say this a lot, right? When it comes to the women, I'll even say when it comes to the people, the way that we are as Americans has I say the difficulty level is like hard, if not extreme, right? And so that's really good as far as like conditioning. So when you go off to other places, and I don't know if you recognize this could be like my own personal experience, but it's like whenever I meet like bad people, like manipulators or liars or whatever, the way that they do it is so elementary that it's you could easily spot it out and then be like, oh, like I'm not gonna do that because you're so used to like the long way that that Americans and the girls do over here, like and I'll give you kind of an example where it's like Um, this kind of doesn't have anything to do with it, but it was like I was talking to somebody. If you talk to a woman here, and again, this could be my experience, but when you talk to a lot of women here, you have one chance. It's like a game. What's that game? The like the organs. You have to take the organs out. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
Okay,
operating.
like yeah, operation. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So it's like operation. Like if you touch that thing one time, it's over with.
Yeah,
But like when I went to these different places, it's like if you mess up, they want to talk to you about like, oh, why'd you say that? Oh, why'd you do that? You know, you hurt my feelings. And I'm like, holy shit. I'm like, this is normal. This is what adults do. We have communication, you know, and I'm like, fuck. Like, oh, okay. Like, I need to unlearn this whole like thing. But yeah, I think that is extremely powerful as far as like having that hard shell and then wanting to get rid of it. I don't want to be hard. I'm gonna be the
right.
first one to tell you. I don't want to be hard. I don't want to be no gangster. I don't want to do none of that shit. Like again, if it's up there, it's up there. You know, we're all gonna defend ourselves. But like, I don't want to walk around with a mean face and like I gotta pretend like I'm this hard, tough dude. But when I go to these other places, I really feel like a human being. And that's one of the things. Like I like Colombia, right? And I know a lot of people don't like Colombia because it's dangerous. But for me, this is kind of for me, it justifies the level of paranoia that I have, right? Because for me, it's like when I get down to a place, the first thing I do is I scout the area. I want to know what my surroundings are like. That way, if everything happens, I know where I'm at if I'm in like a mile radius, whatever. And on top of that, I look at things. I'm more of a don't ask, don't tell. I mind my business. If I see somebody like, oh my God, help me, I'm not finna help you. It's just like I look at it more like a survival thing, you know? And so when I go to these different places, I'm like, yeah, like of course, it's like if a person is if if I don't involve myself in things aren't going to happen to me. And if something seems suspicious, it probably is. And so it's like it's just one of those things where I look at it like I like I like the threat of danger. And again, I'm not no dangerous guy. I don't go looking for trouble. I'm not that guy at all, right? For the internet, everybody out there, I'm a punk, right? I'm a punk, right? But again, it's one of those things where it's like if something happens, you're prepared for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So do you? I don't know where I was going with that, but so you liked Colombia, Brazil.
yeah.
Talk to me about Brazil.
Oh God, we about to uncover the veil. First was the I would say that's one of my. I'm still like I don't even know if it was real life. I'm gonna be honest. That's how
Mhm.
crazy Brazil was, and it was definitely one of the most nerve-wracking things I've done in my life, and I'm glad I did it. You know, it's the most extreme travel I've ever done. And Brazil is dope. Don't get me wrong, Brazil is dope. You know, it's great culture, but it's just a different world. Like no other country can prepare you for Brazil.
Mm. Is it like in a so it's like I don't want to say it's dangerous. It's just like completely different. Is that
Yeah, like the value of life is different. The government's different. The language is extremely different. Culture is different. Just the vibe, the aura, the energy is different, you know?
hmm
So like unpredictable to me.
is it so do we give Brazil a thumbs up or a thumbs down?
It depends. It's a different type of travel. Like, you know, like the Colombias, the Thailands, the
hmm
Japans. Those are like leisure travel. Like, okay, we can romanticize those places. A lot of people romanticize Brazil, but like someone like me who's really amongst the locals, who's really outside, who's really like, you know, I'm trying to do documentaries and stuff like that. There's a lot of ugly truths that you face that you're not really ready for. And it's like, damn, this is life. You know, this is here. You know, it's not just a vacation spot. It's not just a, you come here, you're American, you got money, life is good. Like for most people, yes, but for a person like me, where I attract a lot of people, I attract a lot of situations, it's kind of like, damn, I always got to be on guard. I always got to like expect the worst.
Oh
So,
wow.
but it's not like not like danger just gonna come to you, you know? It's kind of like it's around you, you know, around.
Mm,
It was like I was hanging on a thread everywhere I went. You know, every like I'm seeing people get robbed right next to me. I got robbed from my phone. I'm just seeing people with big ass AK-47s when I'm thinking this is a nice neighborhood. Next thing you know, I'm in the trenches. So it was like it was overwhelming.
okay. It sounds like it's a like a okay. So when I look at it, like you said, Thailand and Colombia and these other places, it's more like it's a different culture, right? But
Yeah,
when you're talking about a place like Brazil, it sounds like it's a completely different like world, like a completely different way of life.
yeah. Like Brazil's this almost the size of America, so it's like
Mhm.
this ain't just no country. This a little island. You know, this is a powerhouse. You know, where
Mhm.
things, you know, they have their own way of life. They have their own uh secrets. They have their own, you know,
Mhm. So okay, so I look at it. I look at Brazil as more like if you want a vacation for a week, maybe two, awesome. But if you're trying to stay long term, you need to have like you need to study not only the language, you need to study like the way you need to have a lot more in your arsenal than you would if you were just traveling, spending a month or two in Colombia or Thailand or something like that.
exactly
Okay. It, or you,
experience.
is there something about Brazil that doesn't really get talked about that much that you've experienced out there?
Yeah, like just the government, the way the government works. Like, I don't think people understand. No such thing as freedom of speech. You know, you can get for that. You know,
Mhm.
uh, poverty. Poverty is insane out there. You know, um, just the class hierarchy.
Mhm.
Majority of people that look like me, you are in a low class. You know, a lot of people don't understand that there's like favelas and slums with 200,000 people in it right above the richest areas, you know? So it's kind of crazy to even think about and just see like firsthand, even coming from the airport, you're going to see slums everywhere. It's like, wow, this is a paradise, but they don't get this is not paradise for them, you know? So it's kind of like, damn, this is like a war going on right here. There's a beach over here with people that think this is like paradise. You know, it's like South Beach, Miami, or it's like LA, Beverly Hills. That's one small part. People might move to Beverly Hills every day. People might be living the best lifestyle in Beverly Hills. But you go down the street to Compton, you go down the street to Watts, it's a whole different world. So Brazil's like that times 50.
Mm. Wow. Okay, so now I get where you're coming from. So one of the things that I wanna ask you about, that I think a lot of people don't talk about, like it's there, but nobody actually really talks about is the fact of the privileges that we have when we go to a different country, right? So I talk in a way that's like nerd speak, like video game speak, where it's as in when you go to these different countries, and again, it obviously depends on who you are, your race, your height, how much money you have, yada yada. But at the base, when you go to these different countries, you have things that work for you in some places. Like for instance, one thing is I call it the foreigner effect, right? If you've ever went to like my high school, we had a couple of foreigners, right? And the way that people would or exchange students, but foreigners nonetheless. The way that they would interact with foreigners is a completely different vibe than how they would interact with like normal everyday people. And so how I look at that, and not in like a bad way, just in a oh, like this person, they get more leeway because they're not from here, they didn't grow up here, yada yada. And so when you go to these different countries, I call it the foreigner effect, where it's like one, you have a lot more leeway than the average person most times. And not only that, but you're an American. So to start this question off, I want to ask you, have you ever been to a place where somebody thought either you were from there or someplace different, and you were treated maybe not so well, and then they either hear your accent or they see that, or that you tell them that you're American, and then all of a sudden the whole thing changes. Has that ever happened to you?
Yeah, like Brazil was one of those main places. Brazil, and obviously the London, when they hear you speak, you get a little, you
Hmm.
expect it. But Brazil, for one, was like the main one where it was like, this is really affecting me. There's like, there's a lot of racism there, classism. So when they see somebody my skin color, my age, my demographic, they're thinking I'm from the favela. I'm in a gang everywhere I go. I'm in the mall. I'm eating at restaurants, and they're giving me like cold shoulders, cold looks, like, yo, get out of here, you know? So
Hmm.
like I'm facing that, and then I gotta act like I don't speak the language. I gotta speak I gotta speak English. So they're like, oh, he's not from here. The hell? So I get, you see the mood switch, you see the energy change, you know, and they start acting like they respect you, but you don't want to do that over and over and over all day and
Right.
just around like an American, so everybody knows you're American. That also brings in bad energy, you know.
Yep.
So it was kind of hard for me in Brazil in that aspect in Rio.
And that's how I kind of look at Brazil as a whole. So the one of the main reasons why I have a low interest in going to Brazil is one, they speak Portuguese, right? It's like I don't plan on going to Portugal anytime soon, and Brazil is the only place that you can use that. It's not like Spanish where you have like nine different countries you can go to and be
Yeah,
able to interact, right? So it's one language. And so I'm like, okay, I'm good on that. And two, and this is just my personal view on it, when I started studying the history, like the socials, like you said, the classism that's there, I'm like, this is low key just America. Like it's just like the you have the lighter skinned people who think they're better than the darker skinned people, and it may not be blatant and in your face, but if you know, like if you're real with yourself as you walk around and interact with people, and they don't see that you're American, like you said, the cold shoulders and the other thing, I'm like, why would I want to? I wouldn't want to live there at all, right? And I'm sure it's beautiful if you connect with like the darker side, but still, it's like I don't even that doesn't seem like fun to me, right? Because the first time it makes me feel like a monster, like America treats me. Like the first time I traveled solo, I went to Mexico for 30 days, right? And the thing that like ultimately like changed my whole perspective, it was my first like culture shock, was so I'm 6'1", roughly like 240, right? I'm a pretty big guy. When I go around like corners or at night or I walk in elevators, I can feel people's, what do they call it? Like not microaggressions, I'll just do it real quick. So like a person, you'll see somebody, they'll go like this.
yeah,
Like you know what I'm saying? I can peep that from a mile away. So it's not like something you can hide from me. And I remember I've dealt with that since I was young. And so I thought it was just like, oh, I'm tall, I'm scary, I'm looking, my resting face is like this. And so I was like, okay, okay. It's like, okay, I was making excuses. But it wasn't until I went to Mexico where I was doing the exact same things, walking around corners, walking at night. And I remember I turned this corner and there was this girl. She was like 5'1", 120 pounds soaking wet, right? And I turned the corner and she just looked at me and then she just kind of kept going with her day. And I'm like, why didn't she like jump? Because I surprised her, right? But I'm like, why didn't she like do the whole or jump or things like that? And then a part of me was like, well, why would she? And it's like, oh, I was like, oh, I didn't realize, like, holy crap, like, bro, I'm a human being over here. Like, I'm not seen as some scary ass monster who's gonna end
yeah,
up doing all. And I didn't realize how much of a weight I was holding, just being having that part of me, and it was just gone. And ever since then, I'm like, yeah, I need to travel more because it is over here is not the same as over there. Something's different here. Something's going on. Did you have any type of like awakening moments like this?
yeah. Like my first time going to Thailand, like I'm telling you, every like weight that like as black men we gotta like you said, it's just so much tension that we hold and like for our own mental from being around white people, being in America. It's kind of like it's like we don't, I don't know how to explain it, but like we kind of look at ourselves as the villain. like we're scaring people, we're making people uncomfortable everywhere we go because that's how we kind of like we're trained to go grow up as an American, you know?
Hmm.
Around police, you gotta act like you're a like you're a predator or some shit like that.
Hmm.
So Thailand is kind of like, yo, I'm just a normal person. I'm just a foreigner. That's it. Nobody's scared of me. Nobody's looking at me like I'm a threat. Nobody's looking at me like I'm a criminal, you know? So it kind of like changed my whole mindset on life just going to Asia, you know? And it was like, wow, I'm never going back to that life, you know? I'm
Hmm.
back to feeling like I'm fucking making people uncomfortable. I'm a criminal when the police come through. Like I'm scaring women. Nah, bro, I'm just a man, you
Right.
know?
And I really don't think people if you've never traveled, you have no idea what we're talking about, but you don't realize how much of that weight affects who you are as a person until it's gone. And when
That
it's finally lifted off of you, you're like, oh my God. Like I feel like one, a human being, and I feel lighter. And that's another thing, right? Because in America, we have they're social archetypes, what I call them, right? And so, or not what I call them, what everybody else calls them. There's as for black people, we have hood, we have sports star, we have rapper, we have what else? Drug dealer. That's basically like you if as a black person, you got to fit in one of these or you're lame, essentially. And so not only with your own kind, but with other people as well. And so it's like one of those things where it's like, bro, if I'm none of those things, like what do I do? So you have a bunch of people trying to fit into something that they're not. But when you go over to these different places and you unlearn all that stuff, you're like, I can like be myself here. Like I can be a person and people are like, oh, that's him. You know what I mean? It's like they're not expecting you to be something. Now I know in some Asian cultures they're probably hitting you with the LeBron James and shit like that. Probably thinking, but do you think that you have more of a freedom to be more of yourself out there?
yeah, like you can just be who you want to be when you like obviously you're still black, you're still a foreigner, but like
Hmm.
all the negativity and stuff, it doesn't really follow you. Like in Thailand, one thing I like touched my heart when I first got there. They were like, we don't judge you off of your skin color, we judge you off of your heart. You know, they're very in tune
Hmm.
with your energy and spirituality. So like they'll actually like let you know what the power of being a black man, you know? They'll let you know like what your strengths are and like your purpose as a black man in a way. Even though they don't even speak your language, they don't come from your walk of life. They'll just put power into you and just like let you know that you're, you know, have a
Hmm.
high esteem about yourself. Because like a lot of these things that we carry from America is like stemmed in low self-esteem and like hating ourselves. So when you go over to those places, it's kind of like based off of your energy and how you treat people, that's what you'll get back.
Facts. That's powerful because that's really what it is. It's like who are you as a person? And I think because the people are more human that it's very easy for them to spot if you're fake. You know what I
So
mean? It's like they know if you're trying to deride or if you're trying to, you know what I'm saying? You're not being who you are. And so I think that's how a lot of people make themselves target is because they're trying to appear a certain way instead of just being who they naturally are. So okay, so I got to get into it. This is the out of all the countries, this is zero for me. Zero desire to go to this place, right? But I want to say you did go, or maybe a part of it.
I know what you about to
Talk.
say.
I need you to defend them, bro. I can't do it, man. Tell me about India, bro.
I knew it.
Tell me about. I can't. I see it, and I'm like zero wants to ever go to that place ever, ever. You couldn't pay me to go.
Yeah. I
So talk to me about it. Make it better or not, right? Help me out. How was it for you?
I can't even say anything good about India because of my experience. You know, I would say it wasn't the most racist place on earth. A lot of people think India is like extremely racist. Maybe it's because of my skin tone, but not really for me. You know, maybe it's part of India I went. But the one thing that I would recommend everybody not to go because of the food, you know? Like the food was just unbearable. Like I think I caught parasites out there. I ain't even gonna
Oh
lie.
my God. Oh,
I ain't
India, you're not beating the allegations. The amount of like street vendor, you seen the street vendor videos. Niggas doing wild, crazy stuff. You're basically saying, like, listen, man, it may not be that bad, but it got me sick
gonna,
too. So it's like,
yeah. I didn't even eat from the street vendors, but like even
oh,
the restaurants, even like the packaged food, maybe it's the factories or something. It's just like contamination everywhere, bro. It's
mm,
like you can avoid your stomach getting messed up out there. And it gets worse.
yeah. Mm-mm. Not for me. And that's the crazy thing, right? Because I love Indian food as far as like here, like in the States, like buttered chicken and garlic naan. And oh my God, it's amazing. But I'm like, where's that at in India? Because what I'm seeing out there, bro, is just mixing things, throwing saliva in it, pouring up some, yeah. And I'm like, what is this? But okay, so you're basically saying like it's okay, besides the the food and the parasites and the food poisoning and all that. Um, Tell me about like the people, because like you said, people think that it's extremely racist. I was also one of those people. I thought that they were extremely colorist, whereas like if you have darker skin, they just don't rock with you or they don't like you, even though low key they're the same color as me. But I get what you're saying. What do you how do you feel about the people as far as that or how they treat you?
That's definitely out there, you know. Like even though there's dark Indians, I seen Indians that look like Chinese people. Like I guess they're from northern India.
Oh,
So I feel like there's discrimination in all, all aspects of that. But for me, it wasn't really about the people. Like I didn't really interact with much people. I didn't really face any problems, as a foreigner, as a tourist. But I didn't live there. I was just there for a week, and like majority of the time, I was just in pain with my stomach. So
oh my God, yeah.
I wasn't really even worried about what an Indian person had to say.
Yeah, pain will do that to you. Oh my gosh, bro.
Blur to me on
Okay, so I want to kind of get a gauge of like how much time do you have left here, or can we just keep going?
one, brother. I'm just blowing.
Okay, cool. So I also want to dive into the women, of course, right? So out of all the places that you've been to, okay, it's like kind of as far as like the women, give me like maybe like a top three, and
Yeah.
then kind of tell us why.
All right. My top three. I'm gonna say Thailand for sure because of just the all-roundedness. They're well-rounded. Everything that a man like me would want. I love Asian women. Asian women is like my thing. I like the way that they're just chill. They're peaceful. They bring peace to your life. They don't really expect much. They don't really and you just get a lot of them. Like as a young black man, bro, like it's like a new one every day. And it's not on overdoing it stuff. They just appreciate you and like marvel at a black man or a foreigner. So you meet a new 18-year-old girl every day. There's a new one every day, and you can get all ages. I love Thailand for that reason. And there's things to do. Like you're in their country, so they're always gonna show you things to do. They're always in the like driver's seat, even though they're feminine. They're like they take initiative. They're assertive, so they'll do that. You know, a lot of dudes come there and spend money on them, but like for me, it's really the opposite. Like they're just very happy that to be around you. That obviously like the romanticism, yeah, it's cool. But I would
Okay.
say, as far as like romance, Colombian women, they're the
Mm,
most women I've ever met. Before that, I wasn't really onto the Latina woman like that. Before I went to Colombia, but like the way they treat you and they're just very attentive. Like they just pay attention to you, pay attention to what you like, pay attention to how to make you feel. And they're just always like I wouldn't say happy, but like they're always like charismatic, you know,
Mhm.
and like smart. So I do appreciate that. Like I do feel like I just feel you know
Mhm.
energized and romantic. Like I can be romantic, I can be vulnerable as far as like flirting and stuff like that without feeling like, oh, he's simping.
Right.
You feel me? Oh, he's showing me too much attention. I'm gonna pull back. You don't have to worry about none of that, bro. You know? And I speak Spanish, so I like flirting in Spanish. So
Hmm.
that's cool. But number three, I'm gonna just throw that to Brazil. I didn't have much experiences with Brazilian women outside of like some casual, like, hookup club party, frisky shit. But I think they have the most sexy women. Colombia, I think, has the
Mm.
most. Brazil is most sexy as far as like sex appeal and body wise, and just
Hold on. You kind of broke out there. You said Colombia was what?
Colombia, I think they're most beautiful, like
Mm.
features and like
Right.
yeah. But Brazil, I think they're most sexy as far as like sex appeal and just that sexual aura.
Wow. Okay. Wow. 'Cause that's wild. And so yeah, I definitely agree. So let me. I want to take it from the top, right, and then kind of work my way down. So as far as like Thai women, right? So of course, we know this is not a surprise or a shock. Where it's like a lot of Asian. There's a lot of at least in the past. I don't know. It's probably still there today, maybe not. But a lot in the past, there's a lot of W worshiping. If you kind of catch my drift there, right? Is that like a? Do you think that's heavy there, or is that more of a online internet type of thing, and it's completely different in person?
Yeah, that's heavy there, but like for my demographic, it's a little different. Like you'll get your like with Asian women, they kind of come to you. So it's like you're not really like running up on an Asian woman that's like, oh no, I like white guys, or oh no, I wouldn't, you don't have
Hmm.
to that. They'll come to you. So even though that's a thing, like it's not a thought, it's not something that's affecting you. Cause there's so much women out there, so much girls that they know that you're their type. So you don't have to worry about that in certain places in Asia. But like obviously certain cities, certain countries, yeah, it's you're kind of like you're gonna be the one going home alone, you know?
Yeah.
But
Okay, I was gonna say that. Okay, so that makes a lot of sense. And so, okay, so it's like at least in Thailand, you go up there and the girls already know like the type of guy that they like, and so as long as you're just kind of cooling, sitting back or doing your thing, they're gonna come up to you, or at least is it like they give you like the kind of like a sign, or are they just like they're just walking up to you and basically trying to introduce themselves and things like that?
they just like smile at you or stare at you or just you know how girls are.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. Okay, and so is there, because I know we're in Phuket, right? Or maybe even different places. And so there's party girls, right? And then there's I don't even want to call them normal girls, but you know what I'm saying, just like working here there. Is there a difference between that in Thailand, or do you think everybody's just kind of in the mix?
Yeah, it's different, but like it's a mix. Like in these cities, like it's kind of like I would say it's just a mix, like a melting pot. Like you might meet a girl at a party, but she's not a party girl, you know? She's
Right.
just, trying something out or just here for the weekend or, she's coming with her friends. But
Hmm.
majority of the time you're around girls that want to be around foreigners. Like if girls don't want to be around, they will never be on that scene, And it's a small minority compared to like the whole country. There's 70 million people there.
Mm.
So you might think that every girl loves foreigners here, but that's like a small minority that puts themselves there, you know?
Hmm. Okay, I see that. And as far as just like relationships, right? Do you go into relationships? Like, do you Do you have like a first of all, let me ask, are you the type of like I date long term? You more like a rotation type of guy, or like what's kind of the situation with you?
Uh, my lifestyle, it kind of like it doesn't really call for long term, because the way I live my life and
Mhm.
freedom I like to have, and like the places I kind of frequent with my career and stuff like that. So not really a long term guy, but ideally, like as a man who I am deep down inside, I would like long term, but as I get older, situations arise as I have more stability. But
Right.
now it's kind of like, there's new girls every day. There's new girls every
Yeah. So I look at that like I think that's the one of the negatives to traveling is you realize how pretty women can get. You know what I'm saying? Like if like I remember the first time I went to Colombia and I was like, oh my gosh, she's bad. And literally like 5 seconds later, I'm like, oh my gosh, she's bad. And 5 seconds later, oh my gosh, she's bad. And I'm like, it just kept going again and again and again. And I'm like, bro, that and it was beautiful because it's not like they were so here's how I like to put it, right? It's like if everybody is an 8 out of 10, that means that they're fives. You get what
yeah.
I'm saying? Because that means they're average. And I remember the first time that I realized this is I was hanging with a group of Colombians, right? And we were just all just kind of chilling. And this girl walked by, and I know the Colombians, they're just built right, right? And so this girl walked by, and I go like this, right? I turn around, the normal like brothers, we turn around, we want to look. And when I turned around, I noticed that the four other guys that I was with didn't turn around.
They didn't care. That's
And
normal.
and then that's exactly what they told me. It's normal. And I was like, oh my God, like so it's like and that's one of my things. Like I love Latin women because it's like for me, the average like Latin woman is like a 7 out of 10 for me, 7.5 out of 10. And so it's like even if and the amount, and I'm sure maybe it's like this in Thailand too, it's like the amount of women that you can have in your orbit, it's where because here's what I like to say, right? A lot of guys will be like, oh, women are the same everywhere, right? And it's like, okay, like I hear where you're coming from, but they're not touching the important part, which is the ratio of bad women to good women. And it's like when you're in America, I say you're gonna go through some BS, some BS, some BS, some BS, some BS, some good one, but you may not be her type, or she's not your type. BS, BS, BS. But in these other places, at least like from my experiences with Latin women, it was like if I'm talking to six at the same time, and I'm not saying that like I'm some macro player, some dumb shit like that. I'm just saying if I'm talking to six, at least two of them is gonna be on some BS. You see what I'm saying? And then maybe the other two just not going to be our type. Like we don't have chemistry or nothing. And they're not going to meet. It's like the rate that you meet a good one is so much faster than if you're like in America, like every girl here is trying to be a bad bitch. You feel what I'm saying? And it's like the odds of you meeting like a normal average. I go to work, I go home, I swim. Like a normal average run of the mill, like a little nerd or something, is so much easier to find when you're going overseas. Is that the same as in Thailand, or how does like the ratio work out there?
It's like bro. It's abundance, bro. Like
Hmm.
here, bro. Like you meet a good girl, it's like it's just gonna fuck. It's always gonna sabotage because it's like it's rare. It's like overseas you can be normal. Like a bad woman is normal. Like you can spit normal game. You can vibe. You can take things slowly. You're not like competing with a million dudes and shit like that, bro. And you're competing in America where you're competing with the girl's ego. You're competing with all these other dudes. And it's like, how can you have a healthy relationship generally? Like, you
Facts.
know,
You got it. It's like you're dealing with the ego, the other dudes, and then you're dealing with her friends. And not only her friends and the hive mind that is social media. So now she's like, she's like, why didn't you send me a cash app? You're like, why would I send you a cash app? She don't even want no cash app. She was just on TikTok, and them girls said, if you don't send you a cash, out, you don't like you like that. And so now she feel like you don't like her like that because you ain't sending her cash. You're like, what the fuck are you talking about? But it's like you don't get. It's like the odds of you, and like I said, like you can meet a girl like that out there. Like a girl was trying to play me in Colombia, right? And of course, like I said at the beginning, it's so elementary the way that they do it that you can immediately spot it from. It's like, sweetheart, I'm used to extreme mode. You know what I'm saying? Like your little things ain't gonna work. And like when we got done, I was so okay with it because one, like you said, it's an abundance.
Yeah.
And so if one goes away, like three take her spot. And so it's like it's so beautiful is where it's like I could be talking to all these girls, and that doesn't mean I'm sleeping with all these girls or nothing like that. But it's like when one leaves or one's on some BS, it don't hurt your feelings or nothing like that because it's like, okay, like she was just playing around. You almost got me, and now I'm on the next. I could appreciate it now. But like when you're here and you talk to like six, five of them are gonna be on some bullshit. And you like 5.5 is gonna be on some bullshit. And so you like whenever you have that one you may act crazy and be like, oh, like, I gotta take care of this because and then you doing that ruins it. And so now so now you done jacked up. But again, when that abundance over here is like, you don't even gotta, you can relax. You can chill as a man.
I not expect nothing, not even plan nothing for the day, and get three women that like you.
Hmm.
Not even trying to spit game. You're not even trying to be a player. You're just being a good person. You're just vibrating high, and girls is coming to you. They like you, bro. It's a
Hmm.
game. Like people in America will never understand that.
Right. I'm talking to a girl like, okay, you talk to a girl here, you can't be like, okay, well, we all know there's a girl, so you could be like, just come to the crib and get a drink or something. They going, right? But that's not the average dude's experience. But you go to these other places, it's like they don't even want to. Okay, how do I put this? All right, because if you're a guy that's in a drought, I could completely understand if you go to these different places, you want to sleep with as many women as you can, right? I could understand that to a certain degree. But then it gets to a point to where you're like I just one you may switch to quality over quantity, and then you just like I want to be like a normal person, just like a normal guy. And so when you meet a girl, you're not even trying to sleep with her for real, because once she's feminine, which is something every man appreciates, and two, it's like let's have a conversation. She's like, "What are you doing?" It's like, "I'm about to go to the park." She's like. I was like, do you want to go? And she's like, yeah. Like she's excited. We're just walking in the park and get like a $2, not even a $1 ice cream for three. You know what I'm saying? Like a whole big old scoop. And then y'all just be chilling. You just be kicking it. You're like, hey, you want to come back to the spot? Yeah, I want to come back to the spot. She come back to the spot. You don't even want to sleep. If you try, probably, right? But it's like you're enjoying your time with this end of, you know what I'm saying? It's like you can't. People they just don't understand, man. It's like you get rewarded for being a man, and you're not trying to rush to the end because she's gonna be there tomorrow. And if she's not there tomorrow, somebody else is gonna be there tomorrow. They don't get it, man.
You
They
got me
don't
miss.
get it.
You got me missing it, bro.
Bro, I miss it every day, bro. I'm trying to the last trip I did 35 days in Colombia. I'm trying to get to the point where I'm spending at least first of all, I want to buy like a one trip ticket, and then if I want to come back, I want to come back. That's how I'm trying to get this is going. But I'm trying to do the next trip. I'm trying to do 60 days, and then of course after that, depending on how the business is going, 6 months, and then and then just practically live out there. But I'm looking at spots, and let's just kind of dive into this other thing here, where it's more like the financial side and like the opportunity that's out here. The things that I'm looking at now, what I'm trying to do is I get on like Facebook, I get on Airbnb, things of that nature, and I look at these places, Colombia, Thailand, Philippines, name it. I've probably looked at it where you look at apartments. I'm trying to think, I'm like, what's the minimum that I need to where my standards are met? You know what I mean? Like I'm not trying to stay in no box that has no AC and no refrigerator and like you know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to stay in. But when I look at these places, I'm looking at like, oh wow, this place is $300. This place is 350, and I'm like, I don't want foreigner price. I want local price. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm looking for local price, and so I'm looking like 200, 300, 350, 400, and I look like the really nice places, 500, 600, and I think I'm like, bro, if you were to have like either another guy or another two guys, and you guys were just all focused on like putting your head down, getting some money. You go out to these places, you split that bill. Your bill is gonna be what, like $300 a month for rent. You know what I'm saying? And all in total, maybe 350, 400 plus food and all that. It's like, bro, like that's the type of things that I started meeting when I started getting in this space. Like I know this guy out there, he's in Thailand, and I think he's with either one or two other guys, and they're splitting a mansion, and their bill is like $1,000, and so it's like 333 for each of them. And I'm like, that's the game. I think that that's what's gonna end up happening here in the future, where guys are gonna realize, like, wait a minute, if I could create, $300 a month, $400 a month, $500 a month, I could go to these places and split all the bills with the buddies. Because as you know, bro, it's like everything is affordable. I don't like to use the word cheap, right? Because people there don't think it's cheap. So it's like I think it's affordable as far as our dollars go. Do you speak on that?
Yeah, like it's just so much affordable, and it gives you wiggle room to do like more things or less. It makes you it gives you time to do less. Like I can chill for the day. I can, take my mornings slow. I don't feel like I gotta rush to get money this month, this week. It's like it's just it's a different way of life, bro. It's like life just slows down a lot when you're overseas, bro.
Hmm.
Like unexplainable to the American mind.
That's right, because that's the thing also that I learned is like when you go overseas and you go to these different countries, you realize they're not all money motivated. Like, of course, they want money. Let's be real, but they're not like, oh, I got to do everything to get this money. It's more like, bro, I'm trying to eat. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to make sure my family's good. Like they're more like, if I had enough to do to like make sure everybody was good, I'm not working today. Why would I do that? But that's the thing that I realized. Like, it's a double-edged sword because one, they're not money motivated, and two, it's like there's a lot of opportunity because they're not money motivated. And
Yeah,
so I'm like, bro, if you take and again, I want to touch on this point to where, as if you're trying to live this lifestyle, right, where you're trying to go overseas and you're trying to travel, whether it's for 1 month, 2 months, 6 months, the whole time, you're gonna have to have online income. Most guys are usually older guys in their 40s, 50s, 60s who, they either have a good 401k, maybe a pension, maybe they're in the military, and they take, or maybe they're truck drivers and they take like 2 weeks off and they go off and have this fun and then come back. What's happening with our generation, because the internet introduced to us, we're starting to realize, like, wait a minute, I could earn 100% of my income online. And then if we really look at it, how much do I really need to survive in this place? I'm not trying to, what I'm saying? I'm not trying to live in a mansion that costs $20,000. I'm not trying to do all that. I just want to know, like, what is a one bedroom with the amenities that make me comfortable? How much does that cost? And when you do the math on that, it's not that much money, bro, at all. And so one of the things that I want to not only, are you about to say something?
nah, you're right.
Oh, okay. The one of the things I wanted to mention that I'm doing, and also Global CZ's doing that, whether he knows it or not, is digital marketing. Okay. Digital marketing is simply the process of taking somebody that doesn't know you, running them through your channel, your brand, your music, whatever, and then you're getting paid at the end of it. And the beautiful thing about digital marketing is, if, like, let's say, right, at the beginning of this interview, I talked about CZ's music. And so if you guys go to stream CZ's music however many times as you want, right? I'm assuming you have it distributed and you're getting paid off of that. Is that right?
Yeah,
Right. And so you don't even have to buy it, right? Which you should buy it, but you don't even have to buy it. And then he's going to get some money off of that. Okay. And then that's not only that. Of course, there's YouTube money. I'm not sure. Are you monetized on TikTok or no?
yeah,
So there's TikTok, there's music money, YouTube money, TikTok money. And then, of course, if you take, that's the first layer. If you go down to a second layer, you can have your own personal products. And just for a shameless plug here, I know that you wrote a book, didn't you? So yeah, so he has a book. Look at that. International truck. Where could I get that if I wanted to buy one, bro?
this is on Amazon. This is on globalunityshop.com. People buy it every day. I don't even promote this too heavy. Like you,
Hmm.
it's digital marketing. It does itself. Like just by me showing up on live, showing up on this interview, showing up on YouTube, me wearing my merch outside, that's generating, it's like property, it's like having properties.
100%. They even call it digital real estate because like he said, like if he right now he could be in Phuket and he's like, you know what I'm gonna do today? I'm gonna take the day off. I'm gonna take the day off and I'm gonna just chill. But guess what? He has hundreds of videos of him working for him. So if somebody wants to say, you know what, oh, let me buy this book, he still makes money. Or if somebody watches his video, he still makes money. Or if somebody listens to his music, he still makes money. And that's the power that this thing is. It's like at first, there's no money in it. Right. But as you start to build and grow and grow and grow and start to monetize your brand, you're realizing that, wait a minute, there's real money in this. Okay. And again, it's not, I don't want to get on here and say, oh, bro, you're going to make millions of dollars a year from doing all this stuff. But you have to be smart about this and think, bro, like we just said, you could get a real apartment out in these places for $300, $350. So, and then if you're tackling like food, like and Phuket, bro, like how much would you say like an average meal is? Maybe some rice and chicken.
$3.
Right. And so again, it's like you take the meal, and that's eating out, right? If you have the meals and you have like the excursion and everything, you're not spending that much money. So if you're able to make that much money per month, it's like you're golden. And then that's the beautiful part is like, and then if you're making that money and you're in these places and you have this quality of life, that's gonna make you want to get money even more, as far as like just to increase the brand awareness, and then that's how it starts to grow. And so I will say, so if you're a person who's like, oh man, I want to do this, bro, start studying digital marketing. A lot of people are like, oh, bro, like, oh, I have to work or I don't have the money. It's like, bro, this is not for people who are scared. All right. And so that's exactly what you guys have here. And if you want, I have a free training that if you go into the description of this video, there's gonna be a free training there that I teach you the basics of how to set up your own brand so you can get paid. Like I just said, that Caesar here is getting paid. Okay. So yeah, so that's dope, bro. Do you have any future plans as far as like what you want to do?
Yeah, like I just want to keep expanding with this brand, you know. Like I said, this travel thing was non-existent 2 years ago. Like it wasn't it wasn't a revenue income, it wasn't a career for me, you know. I was just I'm the product. That's how I like to look at it. Like the more I
Yes.
experience, the more I learn, the more I meet people, the more I get better, the more like just money opens up for me, more abundance comes to me, you know. But like you said, I'm in Phuket. I want to take a day off. I can do that and still make the same amount of money, you know? I could take
Mhm.
a month off. Last month, I had no phone, nothing in
Yep,
my
I
mind,
remember that.
same amount of money, you know? Because I have a bunch of digital real estate as far as videos, books, links, whatever that people always want to, purchase.
Mhm.
That's what a lot of people don't understand. Like when you're doing this, if people rock with you and support you, they're gonna want to buy something. Like I've had people say, "Yo, you need to make something. You need to make some merch so I can buy it. I want to
Right.
spend with you. I want to do this. I want to do that." So you just gotta have things available, like real estate. If the real
Mhm.
estate customer will come, you can't just sit around and say, "Yo, I need money first. I need to do this first before I can do that." You just gotta show up. You know, life is about
Mhm.
showing up. You know,
That's facts. And that's one of the things that I'm trying to attack right now is because there are a lot of people, especially black people, that we don't understand this digital game yet. Right? Because like I said, I had a free training which you could go check out in the description. But as I was making the training, like the presentation for it, I was like, okay, let me go find some black brands. That way I could just give them some free promo. So anybody who looks in it, they want to check them out, I'll give them free promo. I went through two dancers, right? Two dancers, two chefs, and two fitness models. Not one person had a link in their bio. I'm like, bro, like if I'm trying to make you, I'm trying to help you get paid, and you're not even prepared for it. The amount of people, listen, when you and you'll notice, he knows this, if you have an audience, right? Everybody's not gonna rock with you. But as you start to go on, you're gonna start to build this small follow on people who really rock with you to the point that they want to buy a t-shirt, they want to donate, they want to buy a court, they want to buy your book, they want to support, they want to give you money. And if you have no way of receiving that money, you're not going to get it. And so
You know,
what digital marketing allows you to do is, like he said, he's the product. So if I'm like, yo, I rock with this guy and I want to donate to him, blah, blah, he has a way that I could donate to him. If I want to support his book, I have a way to support his book. If I want to listen to his music, I can listen to his music. I could watch his videos. Look, there's like already three, four, five streams of income just off of that. You get
and
what I'm saying? And so, oh, go ahead.
it's value. Like I'm not just taking anything from the people. I'm giving value for free.
Mhm.
Like if you could watch 100 of my videos for free, and you wouldn't even know that's putting money in my pocket. So that's where I like. It's kind of like a trick because a lot of
Mhm.
people don't have the money or don't want to spend money, but they're doing it subconsciously. They don't even know I'm getting paid. They don't know that them views is raking in money for me. Even if haters, they don't know them views is making me money. So it's like
Yup.
you just gotta have things available in an inventory, basically.
Facts. And that's what it is. That's like your what digital marketing tells you is that how to monetize your life at every level. So even if I come into season, let's say I hate him, bro. Like I'm like, I despise this man. But you know how haters are, bro. Haters don't watch one video and be like, oh, I'm done with him. Let me leave. Nah, they want to watch every video and comment some mess and do all that other not like just some lame shit. But it's like, bro, they don't even know. Every time they click on that video, appreciate it. So you're monetizing your haters. And it's like, look at that. So you monetize the people who like you, love you, respect you, and hate you. And then at the next level, people who really rock with you, they want to give you money. And like he said, like this isn't some type of thing where like, oh, bro, I'm trying to get as rich as possible. I'm trying to sell out garbage. No, bro, you create real things, like real value driven products that people are like, yeah, I would love to support you on that. And then they support you, and then boom, you over here. And let me know if this has happened to you, right? Because this the first time this happened to me. It's just beautiful. You sleeping and then you wake up and you look at your phone and you got a notification that somebody just paid you. Has that ever happened to you before?
Uh, all the time.
That's
Or
what I'm
come
saying.
like,
Oh no, you kind of froze up there. You there?
yeah, hold on. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I just can't see you.
Yeah, I don't know why that happened.
Okay, cool. So what'd you just say?
Yeah, like somebody will just call my phone, yo, I want to do a consultation with you. And they don't even have nothing to say. They just want to hear me on the phone and pay me.
Yup,
You know? It's
yup.
like you never know with this stuff. And it's like you said, it's not about getting rich. Everybody has this mindset in America, like, yo, I gotta get rich off this. I gotta get rich. It's a process, it's a journey. And like being overseas, like you said, it taught me like not everything's about getting rich in life, bro. Like there's people in Colombia and Thailand who just wake up, go outside, cook street food for the people in the neighborhood.
Yup.
Provide. That's it. Go home. It's not about getting rich for them, you know?
Hmm.
It's about providing value and doing what you love. And eventually it'll bring people around that want to spend more money with you, that want to, you know,
That's
do things.
facts, man. That's what Mexicans taught me, right? Because I was like at a Mexican block party or something like that, and there was like a the fruit or vegetable vendor. He was walking with his cart, and then he seen the thing, and people had the vegetables and they was putting it on the grill, and like nobody was handing him money. And I'm like, damn, bro, he's just giving all this stuff out for free. And I thought to myself, I'm like, why wouldn't he be giving out to free? The whole reason why he's a vegetable vendor in the first place is one, to feed his family, and two, to feed his community. So I'm like, why would he want to try to get rich when this is the whole reason why he's doing it in the first place?
Exactly.
And again, it's just one of those things that it's a mindset where you're like, damn, like, bro, like, am I living life wrong? Like, what's going on? You know, that's where the real riches are at, man. And so, yeah, for
Like,
sure. So, you said what?
that mindset of, yo, I need to get rich. I need to get rich with everything I try, everything I do. If I don't get rich, I fail. I feel like that mindset holds a lot of people back from even trying things, from taking risks. And it's just like, just do things, just try it,
Mhm.
just take initiative, you know?
Facts. Because that's the thing that I think, especially in America, is like we hold our value, our self-worth to the number that's in our bank account. And it's not until you around other people who don't got no money in their bank, at least not nothing to be bragging about in their bank account, and they still treat you like a normal person, like a human being. that's when like you're like, damn, like I like this. Everybody's not like, yo, let's go spend a bunch of money. Everybody's like, yo, let's throw some cards down and play cards, or let's play some board game or karaoke or what. You know what I'm saying? Or it's like you just doing like normal, like you're a normal person, like a normal human being, bro. And it's like America has you believing, like, bro, if you're not pulling up in a Lamborghini, if you're not Fendi Louis V down, then it's like you not like a person, like you have no value. And it's like, bro, that's not true. Like it's just like that's the thing where it's like you realize where as long as you have enough to like feed yourself and sustain yourself and go out here, then it's like, bro, like you don't realize like how much you don't need until you stop having it. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Yeah, man. So yeah, okay. I'm trying to think. Is there anything else that you wanted to talk about that I didn't mention?
Yeah, I want to ask you about your travels, like,
Hmm.
so, you say you don't want to tell your home bases and stuff like that, but you got to give us a little bit of where you've been and what you like to do.
Okay, so me personally, so again, like I said, I was an army brat, and so a lot of my traveling so far, I've been to 7 countries. A lot of my countries have been when I was like a young man. So as an adult, the places I went were Mexico, and I went to Colombia twice. Okay, and so I'm trying to think. As a young man, yeah, as a young man, I went to Germany. I've been to France. Um, where else? Where else? The Caribbean. What else? I was born in Central America, but again, like I said, my parents were in the military, and so that's the whole reason. But other than that, so the only places that like as a solo traveler, like grown on my own solo, is Mexico and Colombia twice. And so I look at and let me tell you why I didn't want to give out the home bases, right? I may cut this out or I may keep it in there. It's simply because, bro, I see what happens to it when it gets popularized. Like I went to Medellin the first time, and I went for 10 days, and I was like, I absolutely love it here. I loved it here. And I was like, okay, I went 10 days. I could have had rose-colored glasses. So I'm like, okay, you know what? Let me come back for a lot longer time. And I just got back like 6, 7 months ago, and I did 35 days. And at the 35 days, I felt the exact same. Like I just loved it there. And I'm like, oh yeah, this is it. Like I'm a hit there. But the second time that I went, the longer that I stayed there, I started noticing like the amount of Americans that I've seen the first time, they were there, but they weren't like a lot. The second time I went, there were a lot. And it wasn't, so I guess I can kind of run this into a question for you. It's like when you go to these different places, do you find that there are not even certain travelers, just like travelers in general have like this, how do I say this? It's like I don't like the attitude that a lot of them have when they're in these different countries. Do you experience anything like that?
Yeah, I definitely understand what you're saying, like, because it reflects off the people. Sometimes, like, your first time, you might have been getting genuine, reactions from people and stuff like that. And then your second time is kind of like, it's a little jaded,
Mhm.
people are kind of over it, meeting Americans and.
Yeah.
So I feel that one. I felt that in Thailand a few times. You go
Mhm.
during certain seasons, it's a little jaded. They're just meeting foreigners all day. It's the same thing all day. You're like a unit,
Right.
you know, kind of defeats that special feeling of nostalgia.
Right. And that's the thing is like when I go to these places, I'm trying to get away from American culture. I'm trying to get away from the culture, the mindset. I want to be with the locals. How do you guys think? And then how does that affect me? Do I like acting this way? Whatever. But again, like when I was in Medellin, and I was in like the safest area in Medellin, which is called Sabaneta. Or that was like that's the safest zone as far as like the whole place. It's so like its own thing that they don't even count Sabaneta with Medellin, even though they're literally like 10 minutes, 15 minutes apart. Anyways, but I went to the, so I'll say this, and I was gonna ask you about this too. I know I keep going off track here, but it's like like you said, like you can be anybody who you want when you're in these other countries. And because of the energy that I'm in, the energy, like I guess it changes who I am. Like when I was in Colombia, bro, I was smoking cigars. I don't smoke cigars. You know what I'm saying? But for whatever reason, bro, I was smoking them up like damn near one every day. And I freaking I loved it. Then I knew it was weird because when I got back here, I tried to get a couple, and I didn't even finish them. I didn't even. I was like, it didn't hit the same. And so I'm like, okay, I guess the Colombian version of myself, bro. I'll be smoking cigars. Like I'm just that dude. But when I was in a cigar lounge, I was chilling. I was posted up, having a good time. Having a good cigar, probably the best cigar of my life, honestly. But then a bunch of Americans came in here, and I hate to say this, but they were Black Americans. They came in, bro, and it was like 8 or 9 of them, bro. And when they sat down, again, I'm in a cigar lounge. It's calm, it's chill. The music is like jazz. You know what I'm saying? It's an atmosphere. It's a vibe. You probably have a drink. I didn't have a drink out of water, but again, when they got in there, bro, they was in there, damn near yelling, bro. Like the worst of bro. It's like if you took like a bunch of people from, let's say, like downtown Atlanta. You get what I'm saying? And then just throwing them in. It was bad, bro. And it's like, you know what? I'm cool with my people. Like I love how Black people are. I love how we are and things of that nature. But then it's like there's a certain level of like mindset and class that you want to have when you're out in public. And these dudes were just talking about straight prostitutes the whole time, screaming it out, bro. And it's like, yeah, bro, we had this. You had that bad bitch, man. She only charged me $60, and that. I'm like, damn, I'm like, bro, you making it look bad, bro. That's terrible. That's the worst type of thing. I want to have an image for myself because it's not like they're not gonna be like, oh, that's them, bro. They gonna group everybody together like, oh, that's Black Americans, bro. Like, where are you from? Oh, we know what that crowd's like. And like the moment when I went through that, I was there and I was just watching them, and they was screaming and doing all this nonsense. I was like, oh, yeah, I'm not coming back here. I knew like then I was like, this is my last Medellin trip right here. I'm not gonna come back. And so if I go back, I want to go to like a different, like a smaller town. I'll tell you, but I'm gonna exit this part out. It's up. It stuck with me. You was doing it like you was in the street and like doing your thing, and I was like, oh, she's like this is real. And then this girl like walked up. She was bad, bro. She was mad, like at least a 8.59 out of 10, bro. And she like walked up to you, and she was trying to like salsa dance with you. And you was like, ah, no, I can't. Like, I don't know how. I was like, bro, that would have crushed me. That would have fucking crushed me. Cause I'm like, bro, I'm like, yo, she was bad. And she was like, yo, like, let's salsa dance. And you're like, I have no idea. I don't know if you tried and you were like, you got back on, you're like, I don't know how to do shit, bro. Do you remember
I
that?
I couldn't do it, bro. It was over. I ain't gonna lie. I felt
Mhm.
like I just felt like I didn't feel like a man out there, bro. Like
Mhm.
a salsa, but me, it's like, damn.
Yeah.
But Canadians are nice. They're not gonna like make you feel like,
Yeah.
they- but I just didn't feel like comfortable with the salsa shit.
Yeah. So I seen that, bro, and I was like, okay, let me look up classes in my areas. I took a whole class off the foundation just because of that. Cause I'm like, I looked at it, I'm like, okay, boom. And I'm so glad that I did, bro, because I started learning about salsa culture and things of that nature. Am I still like insecure about it? Of course, because what's 4 weeks to you, like you said, they've been doing it their whole life. So that's nothing to them. It's like drinking water. But one of the things that I'm so glad I learned about was they have like you would be dancing with a girl, they saw dancing with a girl, and then a dude will like go turn her and a dude will like take her and then start dancing with her. Right? In America, if a girl's grinding on you, some dude nudges you out the way and something in grass, sure, that's fighting. Like you into something. That's an altercation. But like there is like it's normal. Like it's like
Yeah.
that's not a thing. You feel me? So, like, oh, I'm so glad. But my like now that I kind of know the basics, I don't want to give her like the whole like the little basic two-step or whatever. And then some dude come over here and he starts spinning her around and throwing her and shit. And I'm like, damn, like you don't fuck me up. Now I can't even, you know. But yeah, dude. So I guess I'll keep this part. But like, how long did you stay in Cali for?
I went to Cali for like be like a week or two, but I was
Mhm.
sick. I got sick out there. That's why I was like, I didn't really
Mhm.
do, it was kind of like a blur.
Okay, so it's not really something that's like memorable.
I mean, I went to a little few spots, but like I wasn't in the vibe to like meet people and like do
Yeah.
things, you know.
And that's another thing is like you got to have your Spanish together because like Medellin, you can find some people that speak English or at least enough that you guys can converse. But like there, I heard it's like you better know Spanish or you're not gonna have a good time basically.
Yeah. I know Spanish. It was just kind of like, in Medellin and Cartagena, it's like people kind of meet you. You don't gotta
Hmm.
really, but over there, it's kind of like people go out with groups. People go out with like family, with their friends.
Mm,
Kind of like it was harder to meet people and stuff.
yeah, I see that. Okay, so I forgot how did we even get on that topic? Oh, we was talking about the hidden. Oh, so you was asking me something. What did you ask me?
Oh yeah, I was asking you like, I got another question. Like, what was your thoughts? What's your thoughts on like just dating and women and like maybe marriage since you've been traveling overseas, like as a single man?
Oh my God. So, my man. So, okay, the dating is absolutely amazing to me, for me, because I went through a period in here where I was like, bro, why am I not getting no girls? Like, and I say this, right? I've had girlfriends since elementary school. Like, getting girls for me wasn't a problem. But I'm not some type of dude where I'm like, if I see a girl, she's mine. I could get any girl I want to. I'm not that delusional. So of course I went through this period where like I'm going through self-improvement, I'm doing personal development, all this other stuff, right? Getting in shape. And when I got in shape and started improving my social skills and stuff like that, I realized that the quality of women that I was getting was not what I was expecting that I should be getting. And I'm like, yo, like, what's going on? Like, is it me? I kept asking myself, like, is it me? Because I want to make sure it's something I gotta fix. And I'm like going through this. And it wasn't until I traveled outside that I was started attracting women that I thought I'm like, yeah, that's what I thought that I should be attract. You know what I'm saying? And it's like I knew that something over here, I don't know if it's in the water, I don't know if it's delusion. Some people call it hoflation, right? I don't know what they got going on, but it's like I know just by who I am, like I'm self-aware enough to know what I can and can't pull. And when I go overseas, that idea that I have matches. And so I'm like, okay, like yeah, it's something to do with over here. So as far as that, when I realized that dating has been amazing, but it makes me, I could see myself getting married because I love like the whole dynamics of it. But like you said, bro, it's like when you that abundance is different, like real different. And so I look at it where it's like if I make that decision, like right now, like I said, I'm 28. If I meet one, could I do it? Sure. Right. If I meet like the girl that I'm thinking in my head, like yeah, for sure. But as far as like what I have been meeting, what I have been dating, I can have like a little girlfriend or something like that. But the way that I'm doing it right now is like I'm traveling a lot, like you, and so it's like we'll see. She would have to be a special girl because I like Colombia. I could see myself raising a family in Colombia. I want to try out Kenya, maybe South Africa to see how the women are out there and how the people are and the business opportunities and stuff. And I also want to try out some Asian countries. I'm not that much of a fan of Asian countries just because of like the things outside of attraction. Like if I was trying to like build an empire, I think the colorism would appear really quickly after like you get certain things, So but yeah, as far as like dating your relationships, I can see myself either like at first having like a rotation just to have some like have fun, but I would mainly look for one or two girls who I could be like yeah, we're cool peoples. Like we're together. Did that answer your question?
Yeah, I feel the same way. Like when you like, it's everything's kind of temporary, bro. You know how it is.
Yeah.
It's, as we young men, like with us, it's temporary. Like we might like something now, not like it next week. Like
Hmm.
we still new to the travel game. So that's us. I feel the same way. Like you never know.
Yeah, man. And that I'm not gonna be real. I'm gonna be real with you. That shit breaks my heart, bro. Cause I'll be talking to a girl and I'm like, yo, I'm really feeling this girl. And then like I'm the type of person like because and this is what Columbia taught me, right? Where it's like because you have access, it's like that the fact that you at any point in time you could go get some if you want some makes you not it's not like oh I gotta get it. And so now you're just kind of chilling. And so you're not really pushing for anything because if at the end of the day, if you really want to go get some, you can go get some. But when it done that for me, I was like, okay, now I'm trying to look at people's character. I'm like, okay, who are you like as a person? How do you treat me? He's like, do you have any goals? Do you have any dreams for your life? Like, do you think about families? And so I should be chilling. I'd be asking questions. And so it's like when I meet these people, I realize like, okay, it stops right here. Like you don't have no goals for yourself. You just want a bunch of money. So you're money focused. It's like, oh, you're sex driven. It's like, okay, I'm cool with that. You know what I'm saying? If we want to get together, we can get together. But now it's like I'm more looking. I have like high standards when it comes to a relationship. If that makes any sense.
I definitely agree. Like it's bliss at first. That's the thing with these overseas women that and a lot of
Yeah.
people fuck this. It's bliss at first, but like you gotta understand like where are we going
Hmm.
individually of all. You know, like a lot of these women that we meet are just they just want to have fun. They just want to experience something new, you know, and we do what we want the same thing. So it's like it's gonna like drift off
Yeah.
eventually, you know. So
But that's what Spanish taught me, right? Learning Spanish is because when I'm first learning it, it was me like speaking, and then like I will say what I want to say in the translator in Spanish, and then it'll come out in English, right? And so I'm like, okay, that's wrong. And I realized like how many words in English that we have to soften things. So it's not like a direct order. Like it's like, oh, could you get that for me? Right? We say things like that. It's instead of, hey, get that for me,
yeah,
right? And so in Spanish, at least from my understanding of it, it's a lot of get that for me. It's not like if you say like, oh, could you or some shit like that, it's gonna throw off at like the whole meaning of what you're trying to say. And so I'm like, I was like, it taught me how to be like more of a man of say like this. And then you realize like how well they respond to that. And I think that was the beautiful thing is like the more overseas women taught me is like, bro, it's like you can't do that whole like, oh, like could you or would you or da da da. It's like do this, do this, and do this, and then let her tell you if she has a problem with it. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's one of the things that is just crazy. Like I'll give a girl like this, and then she'll just do it. And I this is the thing that I was like you have to unlearn, right? Because you'll do that in America, and then you'll have some type of pushback, right? Because she doesn't. I guess I don't know. Like girls want to be led, but they don't want to be led at the same time, or whatever. So they always give you some type of pushback, or they want to say something, or be smart or slick about it. That way, it doesn't seem like she's like you're commanding her or whatever. But over here is like you boom, and then she's like, okay, I'm gonna do it. You're like, oh wow. And were you going to say something about that or?
yeah, it's just ego, bro. You got it's ego. It's like a war of ego out here, bro, in America.
Mhm. Facts. And
You go in the grocery store, bro. There's ego with the cashier. She's acted masculine already. It's, bro, I don't want to feel tense everywhere I go. Like,
yeah, man, that's facts. That's the what I was gonna say. And that was something I wanted to ask you is like as far as like femininity, right? Because there's the base level of femininity, right? Just like the base level of masculinity. But as men and as women, we express these things differently. And so I wanted to ask you, what is your not idea, but how would you describe like Asian femininity?
there's different types of Asians. Like,
Hmm.
even the Colombian femininity, it's not just like a lay down and die type femininity. It's like fun. It's like it's a ride. You know, it's not like she's like a slave to you and she just doesn't say
Right.
shit. It's like there's charisma in it, bro. There's like it's fun, you know. It's kind of like bounces off of each other.
Right.
It's like she's just a servant to me and she does everything I say. It's like it makes you feel more of a man. Like
Hmm.
her femininity will pick up for your masculinity, you know, even when you just chilling, like you're not thinking of, oh, I'm gonna put her in her place. I'm gonna just be dominant for no reason, just so
Right.
like, nah, bro. Like in America, it's like always a war. It's always a tug of war. You can let your guard down a little more around some overseas women. You
Hmm.
know, it's not
That's
like
facts.
I'm trying to like just keep her, you know, on ice or nothing like that. And all this fucking manipulation tactics.
Hmm. And that's one of the things that I can't stand it. It makes my balls itch, bro. Whereas like I talk, and it's not just one girl. It's like a lot of them, and like they'll be difficult for no reason. And I'm like,
Yeah,
why are you do like why are you doing that? And she was like, she's like, I just want to be put in my place. I'm like, you don't think that's weird? The fact that you're trying to like trigger something to get, and I'm like, that it's like I get it, you know what I'm saying? Because I could potentially turn you on or whatever, but it's like that's not normal. You don't wake up and be like, you know what, I'm gonna start a fight today because I want him to put me in like that's weird, bro. And people and like there's because you're so outnumbered here in that thought, they make it seem like you're the weird one for not going at for not applying that. And it's like when you go out to these other places like that, and again, girls are girls everywhere, but it's like the level of degree that it's at is a lot less. It's a lot more manageable. Like you said, these girls aren't over here like, looking at you and being like, what do you want me to do next type shit. But it's like they're trying to it's like you said, like when they play with you with that masculine feminine game, it's fun. Like you want to play. You know what I'm saying? It's not unbearable or fucking annoying to where you just chilling having a good day, and now she want to be fake mad at you for no reason. It's like, what are we talking about here? But so,
bullshit.
so yeah, you were saying about that. You said that was like Colombian. So the reason why I asked you about the femininity thing, right, is because I know about Colombian femininity or just Latin femininity in general, and I have an idea about Asian femininity, and so I just want to kind of give you the difference for me at least, and I'm hoping that it will spark something in you, where it's like the Latin femininity is like they're so I think that because the men are the way that they are, that the women are born into it and it's like instilled in their families. And so it's like a part of like who they are to where they can use a lot of their feminine qualities like intuition to initiate things in a feminine way. And it really it does it not only does it do really well with just how they look, but it's also like how they act towards you and things of that nature. But when I think of like Asian femininity, I look at it more as in a lack of initiative where it's there. Like, of course, if she may be cook or clean or, be submissive to you in that type of way, but it's not like and again, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's not like she's not finna like go out her way to like, I don't, do you get what I'm trying to say? It's kind of hard to put in words.
No, I feel you. But there's different types of Asians. Like the
Mhm.
Asians I deal with, like that the Thai Asians, they kind of like assertive with it a little bit with their
Mm,
femininity. Not all of them, but some of them, like
yeah.
they're kind of like Latinas in a way, like they're not just overly feminine, like they still have a little feistiness, but they're always thinking of you first and how you feel first, you know?
Mm,
Like before I even mess with a Latina, all I'm seeing is like masculinity. I'm like, yo, why are they so masculine? Why like that's just their shell. You know, if they care about you or if they like you, bro, they're gonna like that same trait that they use for that could like flip into like them being soft and like, catering to you. So
mhm.
it's like the same kind
Okay.
of even.
Yeah.
Asian
So that, oh,
a
you
little
saying?
different. Asian femininity is a little different as far as like in public and stuff like that. In
Mhm.
public, your girl, she's your woman, you know? She's like, she might take, especially if you're in Asia, she's gonna like do the talking. She's gonna, do the connecting with the other people and stuff like that. If you're a foreign man, you know?
Mhm. Okay, I see that. And that was kind of one of the things that I was like looking for as far as like characteristics. Because and again, correct me if I'm wrong. So again, just to reiterate here, it's like the type of women or the type of Asians that you deal with, as far as like Thai women, you get more of in a positive way, aggressive femininity. Whereas like it's nice and they're more like taking the lead as far as like the feminine side. And the whole what I was asking or just kind of thinking about was like when you're with like a Latina, it's not out of the ordinary for her to show you a lot of PDA, right? With her like grabbing on you or rubbing on you in public in front of people and stuff like that. But I know like a lot of Asian cultures, and again, Thai could be different, but a lot of Asian cultures, they it's like that, they don't do that. That's like completely reserved to themselves until you guys like get home or something. Is that true for Thai women as well, or are they just as affectionate and all that?
Yeah, they're very like classy and like disciplined in when you're outside, you know?
Hmm.
But Latinas, it's kind of like y'all are a ball of energy just moving around and
Yeah.
shit.
That's,
But like with an Asian woman, it's kind of like she's playing that role of like your woman.
hmm.
Even if y'all just met, bro. Like even if y'all just met, she's already playing that role of your woman in front of everybody, you know?
Right,
Like he's the man in charge, you know, even if she don't know your name yet, bro.
right. Do you
So
do you have any jealousy stories? Because I hear that some people get extreme. I know Latinos can get very jealous, but I've also heard that some Asians get really jealous. Do you have any type of jealousy stories or anything like that?
yeah, a lot of Asians get jealous, you know. They always get jealous. Cause like, especially when we foreign men, you know, they know we got, you know, they know we got the pick of the litter. So they're always gonna be like checking if you got hair on the floor in your crib. You know,
Oh wow, they real with it.
right away they picking up hair off the floor. I'm like, I didn't even see that. Feel me?
Mhm.
You know, or they look at some jewelry and be like, "Whose is this?" Like, yo, that's mine. You know?
Oh,
Yeah, like,
that's wild.
and with Asian women, a lot of times when they feel jealous, they're not gonna like do no big fuss or nothing like that. They're just it's gonna hurt their feelings, and they might not even talk to you. They might not even want to look at you. They might not start a conflict. They might just, you know,
They
so
just like pout.
you won't even know it really fucked with her like that. But Latinas,
Mm.
fierce, the fiery, you know, they
Yeah,
gonna let you know it's kind of sexy. Like, yo,
yeah, yeah. That's facts. So okay, so like Asian jealousy is more like I look at it more as in like cross your arms in a corner and just like pouting type,
yeah,
but they
like,
won't like they're not gonna physically like say something. You just gonna have to figure it out and be like, is that kind of what it is?
yeah, like you just notice your self-esteem is low, like, and you might not be able to repair it, you know?
Oh, is it that bad? Like it's real damage.
Yeah, like, because, you know, they're a little insecure about their looks, you know,
Hmm.
especially the ones that like us, because like
Yeah.
they're really the beauty standard. That's why they like foreigners.
So, oh yeah. Oh, so talk about that. It's like, cause that's the thing is like, I know that if a girl's like really into foreigners, most times she's not like the stereotypical like
Yeah,
Asian stereotype of beauty. You know what I mean? It's not saying she's ugly or nothing like that, but it's just like, or at least to us. But I didn't realize like there was a whole dark side to that, to where like she's deeply insecure. You
yeah.
want to speak on that?
Most Asian women are insecure, even if they are the beauty standard. Like the beauty standard over there is like skinny, white, you know, like
Mhm.
short and like slim face and stuff like that. You know, we like a little rounder girls. We like a little meat on the bone a little bit. You know,
Right.
we like a shape. We like a little thigh gap. So they automatically know like Asian men don't want them. You know, Asian men are ruthless, bro. Like they
Yeah, they are.
don't care. You think Latinos don't pedestalize the beautiful woman? Asian men do not pedestalize them. You know, so that's why there's so much of an abundance of single women that
Mhm.
out island and stuff like that that like foreigners. It's like they're exactly what we looking for, but like they know like when they're amongst other women or they're amongst other Asians that they're not, you know,
Yeah.
the choice.
And that's facts. That's because that's just speaking on the part where you like they're not their choice, or not even their choice. When I was in Colombia, and I'm just trying to say this. When I was in Colombia, right, I was at the mall, and you guys know how like the malls have food courts and stuff like that.
Yeah.
This girl was working at like a chicken spot. She had like an orange, like just think of like KFC, or more so like Popeyes. And she had like a Popeyes fit on. It wasn't Popeyes, but just you catch my drift here. She had Popeyes fit on, and she was just working. Bro, when I say that girl was bad, like in like not even like okay, there's Columbia like 7 to 8.5 all the time walking around. This girl was like a 9.5. She was bad and she had body. Like it looks like if I were if basically this is what I mean. If I were to take her and her, I'm assuming minimum wage job that she has at this mall chicken spot, and I were to take her just how she is, and I put her in Miami, she would be earning 30,000 a month off of like OnlyFans or something like that. Easy, easy. Like no, like not even a question. And it's not, it's like that's the type of things that really blow my mind when I look at these girls. I'm like, bro, if you were in America right now, you would be you would be uber rich. You would be disgustingly rich just off of looks alone. But of course, like you talk to them and that they not they have that humbleness because again, they know like, bro, you throw a rock and you going, you know what I'm saying? You probably gonna hit one or another one. And so I think that's one of the things that like really like when you enter a place with like a concentrated amount of beautiful people, they're just so average that they don't have that stuck up attitude that you might find in like Miami or Beverly Hills or something like that.
Bro, a compliment goes a long way. Like that's what people gotta understand. It's not like they're just jumping on you. It's like you can really like just you flirting and simply just showing them attention. They might have never got that, bro. And that's what I realized when I was in Colombia, like just talking to the woman, like business women, talking to police officer women, they've never been complimented. So
Hmm.
even the MILFs, bro, it's like, shit, she probably ain't heard a compliment that she beautiful in years. She bad as hell to me, you feel me? So I'm like, damn, bro, everything's for picking. And it's like uncut gems, bro. Like you said,
Hmm.
25 working at Popeyes. You know, she ain't never, seen much, done much. Probably had one boyfriend. You know, it's like it's different.
Yeah, man. And I think that's the powerful thing, right? Because I think about this on like a huge scale where I'm like, that's probably why the Latin women act like this and a lot of Asian women act like this. And I'm sure maybe African women too, but I just don't hear much going on out there. Whereas like because the men are so the complete opposite of like America. Like if you're damn near a six, maybe even a five nowadays, you have a social media profile in the United States, you're getting compliments, you're getting these likes, oh, you're so beautiful, yada yada. But like the men there, I'm sure they do some do it behind the scenes, but like it's not normalized for them, and so they're just like, oh, it's whatever. That the girls are so like they need that like bro, can I get some validation, you know? And the thing about that in Asian countries as well. And so when we go over there, we're like, bro, a compliment is not like that's most of the times that works against you here. If you try to compliment somebody, they're like, oh yeah, he likes me. I don't like him anymore. Right. But there it's like, oh my, like, thank you. Like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. Like, what do you want to do? Yada yada. It's such a good way. But just in case you're listening to this, guys, don't be going over there and be like, oh my God, you're so beautiful. Can I? No, bro. Like, I don't want to say take advantage, but just like, bro, be a local. You feel what I'm saying? Don't be over there talking every girl's beautiful. No, bro, just be like, oh, hey, because sometimes just the attention is enough. You just going out your way and just trying to have a conversation, trying to see something happen. And that was one of the beautiful things where it's like I realized that I was doing that whole beating around the bush because I'm a very direct person, right? I'm a very direct person, but like doing that here doesn't work out that well for me. You know, it could be a looks thing, it could be just not my type, whatever. But being direct doesn't really work for me here. When I go to other places and I was like learning Spanish, I'm like, okay, let me be like really direct. And it's like, bro, you get a lot more responses that way. It's like, yeah, let's do this. And she's like, okay. And you're like, oh, I didn't think I was gonna get that far, honestly. And then and now you like 20 minutes later, you on a same date, and you're like, oh, okay, well, here we are. You know, I just think it's nice. But
God damn. That's like
but,
it's like going back to the fucking 90s, bro.
mm,
No cap.
bro, I'm so glad you said that. That's really what it is. It's like that, like I said earlier, it's like you're going back in time 10, 20, 30 years. Back when back when fat girls were fat girls. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like they weren't the cream of the crop. They wasn't saying like, oh, they like if you showed a fat girl attention back in the day, she loved you. You know what I'm saying? Nowadays, you look at one, she thinks she's better than you. You're like, wait a minute, hold on now. Like, what's going on here? What they say, the wholeflation, man. And so it's like, bro, that I think that was the best part for me was, of course, I like the women, I like the personalities and things like that. But I think the best part was meeting a really like normal woman, like a just a normal girl. You know, like she watches documentaries and she doesn't go out on Fridays or Saturdays because she gets anxiety, but she wants to go out on a date with you. And then we got you guys talk about nothing, but it's like it's still a good time because you guys are vibing. You know what I'm saying? It's like, bro, I don't think I've met normal in so long because at least in America, there's a lot of people who are trying to be something that they're not. And I think it's like, bro, I want to meet like who are you for real? Like, if you're a loser or a nerd, bro, like I want to meet that person. You know what I'm saying? Because those are the qualities that make you like relatable to somebody. You know, if you're quirky or if you like certain things. But over here, bro, it's like every girl feels like she has to be a Megan Thee Stallion, Sexy Red equivalent in order to be cool or be seen as attractive in your eyes. And it's like, nah, bro.
It's all about sex over here, bro, and kind of shallow, bro. I ain't gonna lie.
100%, man. Well, all right. Is there anything? Do you have any other questions for me?
Um, yeah, what's your YouTube, brother? And what's the what's your vision for the YouTube?
Yeah, so right here you got the name is Dream Life Actualized. My whole goal is like as I start to make more and more content, I'm refining it and refining it. I want to start helping like black creators. Like I want to get as many brothers who are creators into digital marketing because a lot of guys have no clue about it and it's the whole way that they're going to be able to pay for their lifestyle. But two, I want to get us together, have a network of people. So if somebody's like, yo, I'm taking a trip out to Thailand, and people like, yo, I'm going, y'all link up. Now, instead of staying in like in a $300 place, you can stay in like a $800 place and then split it between, you know what I'm saying? Like it's just networking. And I think that's gonna be a beautiful thing because right now we have like a handful, probably less than 20, I'll say less than 30, like black, like known YouTubers who are on a younger side, right? Like in their 20s, who are able to travel. And I'm like, yo, if we got together, it's like this will be easy. It's like you got a bunch of people who are content creators who understand how to set up their stuff to get the bag and they traveling together. It's like, bro, that's real money. And so, or at least like that's real like lifestyle and money. And so that's what the whole goal for this is like I want to build a community of black creators who get together and just to build out that network because all I'm seeing right now is like a bunch of older guys. And there's not wrong with the older guys, there's not wrong with them, but it's like they got a different perspective than the younger guys, and I feel like we have a much more open mindedness and a lot more focus to wanting to make things shake versus like the older guys. So that's pretty much it. The channel is Dream Life Actualized. If you want to subscribe, like the video. And yeah, I'm building it out. I'm building out on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. So yeah, man, if you're a creator and you're trying to learn how you can get multiple streams of income, like me and like Global CZ, bro, like first of all, hit the free training up or subscribe and email me, bro. Let's work. Let's get together. So yeah, man, that's me. So do you shout your stuff out?
Yeah, guys, check out International Travel Bible, Global CZ. You can find this on globalunity.com or you can find this on Amazon. Just look up Global CZ, International Travel Bible. And it's basically a guide to show you guys all the, little nuances when traveling and stuff like that. Just a little guide, just teach you a little thing that you didn't really think about or you didn't prepare for before you start traveling, or even if you're a seasoned traveler, get you, you know, up to date. And you guys can check out Global CZ Official. Check out my YouTube, Instagram, anywhere you want to find me, Global CZ, you know that. And shout out to my brother Dream Life Actualized. He had to make this collab happen, you know. I love a young brother on the come up. I
Mhm.
always work on the come up. I always give them a chance. I always hear what they have to say because it's not about your followers. It's not about any of that, brother. It's about wisdom and connecting. So thank you for having me on this platform. I'm getting ready to fall asleep right now, up all day.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man, I appreciate it because you're the first one. You're the first interview I have on the channel. So, this is a moment in time, bro. And I'm damn near 100, 200, 300 videos deep. People going to go back and be able to see this So I really appreciate you for reaching back out and making this happen. Also about the travel Bible, bro, y'all go get that because again, and you'll only notice if you travel. When I first traveled 10 days, I recognized I'm like, oh shit, I'm gonna need this for the next time. Then when I did my 35 days, I had other things where I'm like, dang, I wish I would have thought of this. That way I'd go back. And so if y'all had something like this, a checklist, that's immediately you're gonna be like, oh, okay, I didn't even think about that, you know? So yeah, so you guys make sure you go cop that. I'm gonna make sure I go support that. I'm gonna get one myself. So yeah, guys. Yeah, I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Make sure y'all subscribe to this channel and wherever you find me, and go subscribe to Global CZ. So yeah, I appreciate you again. Like I said, I appreciate you being here, man. And I'll see you next time. All right.
Thank you, brother.